Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly Rolemaster tonight. Because you see, tonight we are carrying on with our October campaign. It's playing Rolemaster 2nd Edition, also known as Rolemaster Classic, published by Iron Crown Enterprises. Set in Terry K Amthor's Shadow World, specifically on the continent of Jaiman. And this is a campaign we're calling Heirs of Sea and Sorrow. And with me tonight are the stars of the Heirs of Sea and Sorrow campaign. I'll go the order I've got you guys on the screen here. Why don't you tell us who you are and who you're playing tonight? First up, I've got Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm playing Jawar. He is a 5th level warrior monk, and he's a human.
Very nice. A Yakin human, to be specific.
Yeah, Yakin.
Joining us as well is our resident armorsmith, Dave.
Hey everybody, I just about hooked myself with a pair of pliers because I was swinging them around. Don't do that at home. I am playing Sir Kira Benche, and she is a 5th level fighter. And she's also human, yes.
Nice. Now, Dave was not able to join us last time, but Jeffrey was. So, Jeffrey, what happened last time?
Okay, so we were in the obelisk, I believe is the name of the inn?
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, guys, I do have... Oh, one thing I should say as well, too, before we jump into the game, as with at the start of this month, at the start of our campaign playing this, too, we got news that Terry K Amthor had passed away. And given that Terry's significant role in developing Rolemaster and his creation of Shadow World, and in particular his authoring of the Jaiman Land of Twilight setting, we're dedicating this campaign to his memory and his contribution to gaming and to Rolemaster. So I'll just say that, and then let me show you guys yet another updated map. So
we're in Cloven Bay.
You're in Cloven Bay, that's correct.
And we're at a establishment called the Obelisk, which is got a teleportation power of some sort or something.
There is a freestanding, so this is the Obelisk here. Oh, wrong button. Here. And the, sort of near where this is in the yard of the obelisk, there is a freestanding stone obelisk that is a big black, perfectly carved kind of wedge-shaped thing that floats that is used to contact the navigators.
Oh, okay. I guess when you first explained it, I thought it was like some kind of a teleportation thing.
It is. The navigators are the organization that can teleport people. You can use it to communicate with the navigators, and the navigators use it to teleport all across the world.
Okay, so that was right.
Yeah.
And it's owned and operated by John and George's character's half-brother.
And Will's half-brother, too, yeah.
And Will. Oh, right, they're all half-brothers.
Yep, they're all sons of Tavar.
Well, George and John are brothers.
Yes.
And the rest are all half-brothers.
Correct.
And, yeah, he's quite the character. And so there were a bunch of interesting people in the tavern part. And so we took some time to speak a little of our plans, but also to scout around. So Jawar went and checked out the sea serpent,
sea drake
disciples or whatever they are. There's a priest there and his soldiers, and Jawar went and tried to listen in on what they were talking about, and sort of bumped into their table to test their aptitude, and they seemed worthy soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
And then the priest of the Sea Drake came over to our table and taunted Sir Kira a bit.
So Dave did have a chance to watch the that segment. Dave, do you have anything that you want to add with insight for how Kira was feeling during that?
No, I think it went fairly close. I think the only thing that I would have added in that whole it was when he didn't use Sir. I would have corrected him because that seemed to be something I was doing a lot in the first session. So
Yeah.
So then Ordak sort of tried to say that he would, be speaking to him more because he wanted more information from him. But then as he walked away, Jawar basically stepped forward and told him to mind his own business, essentially.
Yeah.
And then Bodan went outside, or chased him after and tried to have a drink with him.
Yep.
What was that all about?
It was funny.
We've already pissed him off. He's already aggressive and he's leaving frustrated. I'm going to go offer him a drink.
I know. Steve's so awesome. I love the way Steve does.
It was awesome. I was like, I don't understand, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah. And then we kind of, sort of after he left, then Udu, the little interesting blue-faced and blue-palmed monkey creature, who is somewhat of a magic user, potentially, seemed.
Yeah.
We don't know. But he came over and he did some sleight of hand and told a story to the table, which I could not recite. It is long and complex, and the history of the... Maybe Kev wants to give the short version for
Dave
those at home, or
he's
Dave.
actually watched it probably more recently even than I have too, and I'd be interested to hear if Sir Kiera has any insight into that.
So, from what Sir Kiera got out of it, it was a story of the 6 realms, and the 6 brothers who each ran one of the realms, one of the lords of the realm, and he produced a coin for each one and had a little story about how they were either deceived or of their downfall, and then in the end it was the phoenix that was still available, right? The Ulashak.
Yep. Oh no, the Phoenix is Rakan. That's still they burned bright, but seemingly burned out, and then Ulashak is the Sea Drake.
Right, and so it's only the Sea Drake that's still around.
Rakan is still around, like in the world of the actual kingdoms here, historical wise, Rakan still exists. It's an empire.
Okay.
Urulon still exists, although hidden, and has been at war with Rakan for several centuries now. Tanara is gone. Zor is in irradiated wasteland. Seralis is just, barbarians fighting each other. And Ulashak was split into 2 different kingdoms until even most recently when the king went missing. And the missing king did not have the Sea Drake crown either. So the only crown left, although what Udu said was that being clever, that the Sea Drake hid.
So yeah, I don't think I think Sir Kiera still, she's got some lore abilities, but a lot of this was like, like, why am I learning this? Why is he telling me this story? Why is this important?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out soon.
Anything else that happened, Jawar?
Yeah, if you go back to the map.
Oh, yes, hold on. So, here we go. To the map of Jaiman, or to the map
No, your map.
Oh, the region, yes.
Yeah, sorry, the region.
Yeah,
Yep.
there was our friends from another kingdom.
Yeah, then the Oakford, the king of Oakford's horrible children showed up.
Yep, King Olin Trove's kids.
Yeah. One of them was maybe even a bastard or something.
Yes, that is Lady Eustace.
Yeah, they're horrible looking people that we tried to not engage with, and so Jawar, we caused a distraction, right? We got some drinks spilled by their table, and then we kind of snuck Sir Kiera out so there wouldn't be another confrontation. And then we went off to bed, and sometime in the night, I don't know how long we were asleep, but Jawar heard something in the hallway, and then a coin slid under the door. And and when he burst out into the hallway, he ran into what he assumes is a monk of the Yarth?
Monks of Yarth, yes.
Yeah, monks of Yarth in the hallway. But he looks either possessed or reanimated or something, because his skin is icy blue.
Yes.
And he had like cataracts or something?
His
Yeah,
eyes,
his eyes are totally
cataract over, exactly. Yeah. All right. So
the monks of Yarth, that was going back to the first session, the shuriken piece that I'd found on the bodies. Jawar had said were a tool that the monks of Yarth would use as assassins.
And then you had remembered as well that there was a king of Elisa. Remember, Elisa is one of the successor kingdoms from Ulashak. There was a king of Elisa 4,000 years ago who died from murdered by or assassinated, I should say, by a monk of Yarth.
The only question I have about that session that I didn't attend was this Kier Yanis. Now, you talked about him briefly.
Yeah.
Does my character know anything about that?
Most definitely.
She was getting flustered at the table.
Yeah.
But
so the history of Elisa in the last 50 or 60 years. So Ulashak was the kingdom, but before the end of the Second Age of Ire, Ulashak was split into two different kingdoms. One of them was actually the names of them really don't matter right now because they're both not used anymore. But then the Wars of Dominion happened, and the northern part where you guys are, like where the Duchy of Cloven Bay is located, almost completely razed by armies of demons and gods and sorcerers and whatnot that fought. And to the south there was the kingdom of Elisa. There was another kingdom that eventually became Elisa. And Elisa was the last king of Elisa died more than 50 years ago, and the last known heir to the throne of the Sea Drake, Prince Kier Yanis, disappeared immediately thereafter. And there's been no sign of the prince since then. And since that time, the cult of the Sea Drake has been running Elisa as regents. But there has been no sign. And what they were alluding to is, in the 50 years since the prince has been missing, those who are loyal to the crown, they may name their kids after Kirianis. Which is why he was sort of asking, in the same way that, like, you know, in our world, that like people may name them after celebrities or kings or whatever else, in a way of honoring the people who they support or they value or whatever. Naming your child after the lost prince might be a way of honoring that lost legacy. It also might be a way of thumbing your nose at the priesthood, because the loyal nobles are not keen on being ruled by a bunch of priests. And not for nothing, the cult of the Sea Drake has not been, it's not linked with Ulashak or with the kingdom of Elisa. It's not a theocracy. It's not something that is like where like the Christian church would be locked in with the Western Christian nations in medieval Europe. It's not something that is intrinsically. Remember that in this world, history goes very, very far back, and the priests of the Sea Drake or the cult of the Sea Drake is not something that has always been associated directly with Elisa.
So it could be that it could be that she's been named such to, you know, pay homage to the missing prince, but it could also be a FU Sea Drake, and we're going to do our thing out here, and
could be both. Yeah. If someone was to, you know, there's been no proof of it, but news has come. You guys have heard that in Sarrel, a kingdom not too far north, only about 200 miles or so up the coastline, there is a kingdom. There's a city-state called Sarrel, where the king of that claims to have recovered the Wyvern Crown.
And how long ago did her dad take over
He has been here for around 50 years.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, no more questions.
So that is probably why it also put her on edge with him pressing about that. What he's told you always is that, and this is not surprising, there's all sorts of successor kingdoms that sort of populate what used to be Ulashak. He says that he's from a Talith family, but just chooses to have broken with them and never speaks of his path, that he came from the south. That's the extent of what he's ever talked about with you. Your father is open to talking about many things with you guys, but the two areas that you learned as children were areas where there was nothing to be gained, scenes that would never play out. One of them was the death of your mother. The second one is his past, where he comes from.
Okay.
What his answer is always not all of history is worth knowing, or something to that effect. So, where our session will open.
Wait, before you leave this
yes,
screen,
go ahead, Jeff. Yeah.
I just noticed that this image that you used has like an assassin in the rooftop. That's funny. I never saw it last time. There might have been someone's face over
Failed
it
perception check. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
that's funny.
All right. So then, guys,
I'm checking for more assassins. Is there more?
it's the what do you call it? The backstab version of Where's Waldo. So our scene opens with Sir Kiera sound asleep on the in the bed where she has saying, you of course were staying on your own. You've got a stand next to you, a wooden stand where you've got all your armor kind of placed on there, but then right next to your bed is your sword. In light of everything that's been discussed this evening, what do you think is populating her dreams? Because one of them is about to be disturbed by something.
I think I think it's probably a menagerie of like some weird translation of like crows and bodies, and like one of the bodies is her brother, and then it's not, and then it's like her father, and then it's not, and then it's her, and then she's out with the friends, and there's like assassins peeking out from behind corners and things like that, and she doesn't know what's going on.
So, and then what it ends with, you hear a cry out again from another bird, this time sounding something different, something more like it reminds you more of the time you spent on the sea. And you look back, and you're on the standing on the deck of the ship that your father owns, or at least the one that the Duke lets your father use. The thing you learned on. You may pick up from your secondary skills. You're an expert sailor, in addition, whatever other things you're really good at too. You're also an outstanding sailor. What you can see, though, is the deck is empty of any other people. You're wide out at sea, somewhere out on the Bay of Ulor. You can recognize the dark waters of that bay. And atop the crow's nest, there's sitting a single bird. And it is a completely coal black seagull. You've never seen anything like this in your life. It's definitely got the seagull physiognomy too, with that kind of hooked, little bit at the end of its beak. But it's completely jet black, the way that a raven might be. And it's from this dream that you were aroused by the sound of something scraping. And you awaken. So you're lying in bed. There is probably a candle with some long matches next to you, and there is your, of course, your broadsword. Do you have a name for your broadsword?
I'll think of one.
Sure. You also have the sitting in here too. Nemrice brought in for you the bundle of books that you forgot on your saddle.
Right.
Yeah.
She was so thrown off by events of the day.
Yeah. But what do? So you're looking around. It's pitch black in here. Do you think that Kiera would have? It's raining outside now too, and the wind is blowing quite badly. Do you think you would have drawn the blinds here, or would you have left them open so that some natural light would, whatever there is outside, moonlight or whatnot, would come in?
No, I think she would have wanted to get some solid sleep, and light keeps that from happening. So she would have probably drawn them tight so that she could get some sleep. So, especially with all this stuff going on in her head.
Yeah. So you've heard that sound of scraping. Your eyes are going around. Why don't you give us a perception check? You may still, you never know.
Never saw any of those last session.
All right, so that's good, but I mean, with the penalty of the darkness, it's not going to be. You can't make out what's happened right now. What you can see is there's no visible light anywhere. There's no light coming from under the door. There's no light coming from within the room. There's the pounding of rain and wind at the pane.
But it was enough to startle her awake. I think she want to know what's going on, and she would probably head to the window to open the shutters, so she could at least, make sure everything's good, or if she had to light a candle or something.
Well, I think it's even like you would. It would suffice to pull the blinds back, to just have to expose the pane, so let whatever light's in there. There won't be an awful lot of light, but I think your perception is that would improve your chance of seeing anything. There, you can see it's storming outside. There's a little bit of a flash of lightning that sometimes lights the room up. And it looks like for a very brief second that there is something sitting on the floor about 2 feet in front of the door.
Like a bundle, like a bundle of books kind of thing? Or
small,
like a person kind of thing?
Very small, a single thing. It when the light hit it, it was lit for a second. It reflected it.
I think she'd go to reach for the closest weapon.
Okay, so your sword.
Maybe her dagger is probably sitting like with the bundle of clothes and stuff near the end of the bed, so she'd probably grab that.
Okay, so you grab your dagger, and then what?
Head towards whatever that is.
So if you go over, it's tough in the wan light that's in here, but feeling around and going from memory, you're able to grab it, and you pick it up, and as the thunder crashes again, you can see it's a silver drake. It's a coin.
Silver drake, like the coin I gave Udu?
It's almost identical to what you gave that creature. And at that, what I'd like you to do is under your resistance rolls, there is one for terror and fear. Would you kindly give us a terror and fear RR? So saves in this game are called resistance rolls. It fulfills the exact same function. Okay, now.
Do we have any astonishing fortune that we can use?
You do. You guys have 4 points of astonishing fortune for tonight. Would you like to spend a point of astonishing fortune?
I think this is a good time for Sir Kira to not be quivering in her bootless feet.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it might have made a lot of sense.
Okay, so you failed by a little bit still.
But she's not like freaking out.
No, it's not a fumble where she's going to scream or something.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah.
A blood-curdling scream comes from the room.
Oh, I never thought of that. That would have been really good. And everybody would come to have.
So
she might have not screamed since she was a child in her life. The way
so
you talk about the character.
That's true. Yeah, I think what happens is you kind of grit your teeth at this, because what happens is as you're not sure why, but there is a feeling of overwhelming fear and terror they have or terror, I should say, not fear, coming from the other side of the door.
Oh, okay, I thought it was the coin.
No, the coin is fine, but you can hear a creaking.
Maybe the coin is a warning. Somebody trying to, I don't know.
So you stumble back a little bit from the door and kind of hit the little desk that you're your what do you call it? Where your sword and your shield are lying as well. You kind of look around, and I think that's where we will pick up with Jawar outside. Let's do this, guys. Let me just quickly drop down a token for this fellow here. For the intruder here. And then we will roll... actually, I don't need to wait. You guys don't need to wait for me. You can go ahead and roll initiative. And then I'll roll initiative for this brute. So there isn't a button for it, but it's under the notes tab. Or the notes section of the character sheet on the bottom.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, so it'll be 2d10 plus a certain number. Okay, there we go. I can put him over here if you'd like. Excellent. Okay, so 21, and you can fill in 44 for Jawar. All right, let's see where this thing is. Okay.
35, my friend.
That's actually not a very good roll for Jawar.
No.
Just 9.
You got a 1. What's going on?
Just average.
Okay. And then Sir Kira got a 21. All right. So let's go descending. All right. So I mentioned that this thing turns towards you, Jawar. Let's see here. I think we can find something that's a little creepier for our Muzak. Bear with me a moment here. This song we've been listening to is called the track. It's called Magic Forest by Kevin MacLeod. It's one of my favorites of his. It's just super fucking relaxing, but a little bit, eerie. Love it. Let's see here. Epic Unease is the one that John loves. That's probably good. That sounds like a good... This is a dangerous foe, so... And really one that's come out of the mists of time as well. No one's seen these guys for a very, very long time. So, guys, first thing, remember what we got to do is set where you're going to put your offensive bonus. So, if you're going to attack by my melee or whatever else this round, if you're going to at least put 50% towards that for your actions, you're going to decide how you're going to split your offensive bonus, defensive bonus from whatever weapon you're using.
Kev, I don't see us in initiative order. Is that...
do you not see?
No, I just see the creature at 49.
So I've got them here. I'll do it again. I have both of your tokens in there. Let's see here.
Oh, okay. That's...
Yeah, now I see it. I didn't see it either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So here, it's 21 and 44, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Okay.
And so we have to figure out what we're going to do. Okay, well, I don't know what anything's there yet, so...
Yeah. So you can just think of what you'd like to do with your round. If you want to see what the time or the action costs are for them too, remember, under the assorted abilities, we've got the activity percentage table. And for those listening at home too, I was reminded again on my DM screen I got today, or Rolemaster combat screen I should say, that the initiative system in Rolemaster Classic is actually different from Rolemaster 2nd Edition, but I actually, for myself, I like it better. I think it's a little more intuitive, and the justification they gave that no one really used the initiative system from Rolemaster 2nd as written is the justification for changing it for it. I take that as a valid change. So, have you guys made your assignments for offensive bonus, defensive bonus?
Yes.
Okay. So then, first up will be... I need to make a roll here at the start of the round. Jeff, I'm assuming you've been going... Did we have you make a stealth check last time, or a stalk check last time?
No, we were kind of just doing it like story.
Narratively, yeah. So give us a stalk check. Let's see what the difficulty will be for this guy's perception check.
Stalk. Ooh.
Okay. So, he actually... Oh, but you got your light, though, so there is going to be a penalty there, which means he did kind of looks over at you as you are there. Now, the one thing that's different, Dave, or two things are different, three things are different. I'm just going through like crazy. For one, the intruder does not have boots on. Second thing, that it's not a wolf amulet around his neck. It is an iron or some kind of dark metal shuriken that is at his neck. And then there's only one sword in his hand. So, then, first things first here. Actually, I need to track one more thing on this. Let's see here. And I will show you guys this just out of, in the event that you are interested in seeing this. Here we go. There is a blue bar to track as well. Now, first things first. Jawar, do you have... So, Sir Kira, you're not aware of what's going on, so you're going to just take your actions when you go. Jawar, any quick actions?
Yes.
25% or less. Yep, what are you doing?
Drawing my sai in my offhand.
Okay, so then this guy has a quick action as well, and it will act before you. He gestures. He looks at you, and there is a... he sort of sweeps with his hand, and there is a flash of light, and then as you what do you call it, the candle kind of flickers for a second. You can see that from where he is to the area about 10 feet out around where Sir Kira's door is completely shrouded in blackness, and you cannot see where he is.
Interesting.
Then, on your swift action, you draw a sai. Dave, does Sir Kira have something that's 25% or less?
No, her thing is, well, I'm thinking it's 30 because it's not, she doesn't have her sword on her belt, right? So it would be considered like pick up from ground?
That's right, yep. Okay, so then we go to our second pass with the standard actions. You can hear from from somewhere in the darkness, Jawar, there is a voice speaking. Let me see what languages you speak here. Because I'm going to see. I don't know whether you would understand this or not. Let's see here. Raya, Shay, and Dayar. No, okay. So, it might be a Dayari word. Dayari is dark elf. What you hear is death. And you hear a kind of a flash, like a shimmering kind of, I don't know, like a almost like a wind chimey, discordant wind chime kind of sound.
Cool.
Then, Jawar, do you have a 50% action? 50% or less.
Yeah. So how far am I from the door?
From the door, you as far as you can tell, you guys were next door to each other, so it's probably like 10, 15 feet.
Okay.
It is completely...
Okay, so like it's a hallway. I'm facing him. The door is like on my left or right kind of thing.
Yes. And there was a flash of...
the darkness.
Of the darkness, yeah.
And it's created a 10-foot... So almost to my door.
Yes.
The darkness.
Yeah, 10 feet, so it's 5 feet forward, and then it's blackness from where you are.
I'm going to is this game like I already decided what I'm doing and then I'm doing it regardless of what happens, right?
No, you can change, but it costs you 10% of your action.
Okay, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna spend 10% of my action to change what I was gonna do.
Yep.
I'm going to turn and run back through my room.
Okay.
And I'm going to open the window.
Cool. Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know how much. That's probably like moving there and opening the window. I don't know if I can do that in one action or what. If that's like
so
a complicated action.
35. Do you want to? We can keep track of our actions in our head, or do you want to use a green bar to keep track? Like, is it?
I mean, I can write it down. I use 20 to pull my weapon.
Yep.
And I mean, you can tell me how much more I need. 10 to change.
Well, it depends how fast you're going to go, I guess. So we talked about this a little bit before we went live, but like if so, figure you're just past where because you did move down the hallway a little bit. You're probably about 5 feet away from your door, give or take.
Yeah.
So to get back into the room and then get to the window, interacting with the window is probably what, 30% action?
Yeah, probably. It's not
Okay.
too complicated, but it's
So
a little more. Yeah.
It'd be 40 with changing your action. That's 65. That means you got 35% left to work with, which means you're probably going to have to beat feet to if you're going to make it to there. And then do you want to try and do something afterwards, or you just want to get the window open first?
No, well, I was gonna keep because I can move more than I can move up to like X%, right?
Yeah. So 35% of your current movement is
24 plus 4,
28.
28 feet.
28. So
But if I was to run, I could double that.
precisely, and that's what I'm thinking is that you might just need to make a like an acrobatics or tumbling check or something like that.
Yeah, well, why don't I sprint and triple my speed?
That's more than enough. You can actually, I think you'll have enough movement left over to get outside a little bit if you choose to.
Yeah,
So-
well, what I'm going to do is activate my spider slippers.
Oh, nice. So
That lets
activating.
me...
Ooh, but hold on. How much? Activating an item.
Oh, yeah, I should look how much that takes.
Yeah. You're not casting a spell from an item. That's 75.
I mean, it doesn't say on the sheet how much time that... What that
It's
does.
probably. It's probably a 50% action.
Oh, it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it's. Yeah, but I mean, like, well, that. What's your
Well,
climb check?
Wait. It's okay,
Yep.
so 10 to change is 30.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, I wouldn't have enough. I could just open the window then.
Because 30 plus 10 is 40, plus 50 is one. What did you use to draw the psi?
That was the 20.
That was the 20. Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would only have time to open the window. I wouldn't even be able to activate the slippers this turn if it's 50.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, and it's we'll try that just to because it's probably easier to
I
parse
think
out.
movement-wise, then what I would do is I could get all the way to the window and I could get it open and I could jump up onto the windowsill.
For sure. So why don't we do this? Let's give us a what do you think? An acrobatics, tumbling?
Yeah. Probably in acrobatics because I'm going to end by jumping up onto the windowsill too. So it's,
Yeah, that makes.
But I mean, I'm probably having to run around people in the room or move around them. So
Yep.
it might even be more of a like, jump across the bed or whatever kind of move. So
Yep, I buy that. I'm trying to see if I've got
So
on my sheet here. Do I have speeds?
are tumbling and acrobatics kind of the same thing or what?
Kind of same thing. One is acrobatics is more aerial
I imagine
movement,
tumbling is more like in combat personally.
and tumbling is more on the ground as opposed to acrobatics is in the air. That at least that's
Yeah, okay, yeah.
okay. So hold on here. For those listening at home too, it's been a minute since we ran Rolemaster, so
But some of us have never played it.
exactly medium. So medium maneuver is for a sprint is light maneuver.
Okay.
So go ahead and give us a tumbling, I guess, check, please.
Sure.
Let's see here. Come on. 182. Holy smokes. 182. Super move. You feel great. And you've taken no damage, so you're not taking anything extra from there. 120 movements. So your run is
Times
2 times.
three.
So it's
Run is times 2, yeah.
So it's 160. Let's figure it's 30 feet to get to the window. 160 is, and then multiply that by 1.2. What does that give us? I have my calculator open here, so 160 times is, 160.
Oh, it's like 192.
192. That's 6% of your movement, I think.
Yeah, so it's enough that I can get there, jump up onto be standing on the windowsill, and I'll be able to try and use my adrenal move.
Yeah.
I'll have enough percentage left to use that this turn.
Yeah. Which adrenal move do you want to use?
Speed.
Speed. Okay, cool. So we'll make your roll. So that's your first. Your move is 50% is to get yourself over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Sir Kiera.
So she had used her first 30, was picking up the shield.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out on the actions chart what, like, kind of setting it in place, getting it ready, like, you know, putting the putting it on, strapping it down.
30%. I'll say you grab it and you've got it readied, and then if you want to spend 30 more to get your sword ready, is that what you're thinking?
Well, I actually think the sword's probably closer to the door. So she's got, like, you know, like the end of the bed is like her clothes or her armor and her shield and her dagger, but the sword is usually right by the bed, and I didn't think of it right away, so maybe she forgot to get it. So she probably has to, like...
Oh, but the way we describe it, you had backed away from the door anyway.
Okay.
Because that was the terror result.
Yeah. So, like, I see her, like, sword, like, leaning close to the bed where she sleeps, but her stuff is off in a pile elsewhere.
Okay.
So she went for her shield because, you know, the smartest warrior is the one that stays alive the longest, not necessarily the one who does the most damage.
Okay.
But now she's just across the room and grab her sword.
Okay, so moving across the room is probably... What, your move is what, 50?
Well, she's not wearing armor.
Move will be the same. You're strong enough that you can actually... Your armor doesn't affect your movement.
Okay, yeah, base move is 50.
50, okay, so that's probably, like...
Like a fifth of it?
20% of your movement?
20% of my movement.
20% of your action to get over there?
And then another 30 to get the sword?
Yep.
She'll just drop the dagger on the bed and...
Okay.
Okay, so then that's another 50 that she's used.
And then you can hear... okay, so you got your sword ready, you got yourself over there, you got yourself up. Jawar, you've now raced over, you throw the things open, the wind and the rain kind of hits you, you step up onto the ledge. Something is happening inside the hallway. You can hear creaking outside of... Actually, you probably can't hear it. What you can see is that there's a almost like an inky blackness that comes from under the door and is kind of like licking at the light inside, almost as if it's trying to just consume it. Then, Jawar, why don't you give us your adrenal maneuver?
Yeah, and so I like the idea. So he's like this all of a sudden blur of action as he leaps across the room, you know, jumping over Ordak and Bodan or whatever he needs to do.
Yep.
Whips the window open and jumps up on the windowsill and then sort of like takes this pose. So like I imagine he's like, you know, on one foot, he crosses his arms, he's like, you know, got his leg bent up or whatever, and he's looking out the window as he focuses.
Love it.
So it's like this flurry of action followed by this meditative moment.
Okay.
Come on, big money. I have yet to roll this, by the way, for those at home when we practice this. How this character works.
Oh, not yet.
I've never done that.
Then, do you have any other actions you want to take, Sir Kira? You got 20% left to do.
I think she is not sure what's going on, but she's going to... I don't know. I think she would probably call out to Ordak. He's probably the closest of the group, right?
Yep. So Jawar, and maybe this is the reason you blew your thing. Is you're trying to like focus your key, and you can hear Sir Kira's voice shout out, "Ordak!" You kind of look over, you know, your gi blowing in the, or your hood blowing in the wind. All right, that is the end of the round, guys. I think everyone's used up all their actions, so you can clear your green bar. Then, actually, I'll do the same. I'll add a green bar because we're all learning here.
Yeah, this is probably a good way to track it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'll make sure you guys can see.
Oops.
Oh, and let's see. This won't be visible to everyone. I think so. You should be able to see just my green bar now, right? The actual numbers in the green bar.
I don't see anything in the green bar. Just...
Oh, are we going from 0 to up, counting up?
0. Okay. Either way's fine.
It's easier to do addition than subtraction.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So there, let's just see. You can see the green bar now?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. All right, then, guys. So we're in the same initiative order. So decide how you want to assign your offensive bonus, defensive bonus. Oh, Jawar. So the thing is, you changed your action, decided not to attack, right? So that means you would have dropped your... the only time you get to apply the parry bonus from your offensive defensive bonus is when you're giving at least 50% towards fighting or parrying.
Right, I wasn't fighting, so it didn't matter in the end.
Right, exactly. Okay, so then, guys, let's decide for this round again. And one of the things you can do, too, is you can spend 80% of your action to refocus your initiative and act and get yourself back in an order where as if you had rolled a 20.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really?
Yeah. So if all you want to do is just try and get yourself up in the initiative order a little bit, that's one of the ways you can do that.
Well, you could take one quick action basically at the same time.
Precisely, yeah.
You have 20% left, yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, so decide if you're going to attack, and if so, assign your offensive bonus, defensive bonus from your weapon. Everyone figure that out?
Yeah. How much?
Yeah. So she doesn't know what's going on, so I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to go with kind of like what her standard normal procedure is for when something's not right.
Yep. Okay. And so you can hear, or you can see that stuff looking at the bottom of the door, and it's almost.
Can you use a skill, Kev, in the middle of a combat situation?
What skill are you thinking?
Like, is there something to like counter terror? Like, or is she still under some kind of effect from the terror?
No, it'll be faded as you've another round or so have gone. Normally, what it is it's it'll last for 1 round per 5% that you failed.
Okay. Okay, so then yeah, I was just thinking like some kind of like stealing herself, but I guess that's not really necessary then.
Not necessary, no.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure what. Yeah, you can't really. You're sort of stuck with your terror, fear, resistance roll is based on your self-discipline. So depending on how, and then there are ways like I can't remember if there's a secondary skill that is specifically related to that, but
can you do like a perception, like to figure out what's going on? Like, is she like?
Yeah, I mean, you can try and figure out where. Yeah, the reason you didn't hear anything out there, it may be magic that's making them silent, but it may just be someone who's trying to move quietly. So yeah, you could do that. And
okay, so then that's skill use as far as the activities go.
Yeah. So that would be. Let's see here.
It says minimum 100% in the static action skill use.
If you're just using your whole round to just listen, then yeah, that'd be 100%. But that's normally for something like a static action would be. Yeah, actually, no, they're right. I think it's not just a matter of like trying to perceive things. The way that perception works in the game is, for one, it's not like D&D where you've got like you've got a 360-degree awareness. You're restricted by for one thing, whether you're wearing a helmet or not, and also by generally what's happening immediately in front of you when you're in combat.
Okay, so it's not like some of the other games where you can do like a perception check as part of your move action or something like that.
Yeah,
this is something that takes up a lot of time.
It does, because it's you, like what you're doing is you're taking in everywhere, trying to figure out what the hell, what you're missing.
Okay, I think she would just call out again.
Okay.
That would be her. Maybe she'll call out to somebody else in the group.
Okay, so all you need to decide for now is what your action is, and then if you're going to devote 50% to attack, just remember that you assign your OBDB. If otherwise, it carries over round to round. Like if you aren't changing it from round to round, don't worry about that. You just need to remember you need to have 50% devoted towards attacking or parrying in order to take advantage of that stuff. The other thing is you can change to an attack. If you decide to, say, do perception at 100%, which would be a slow action, so you'd be doing it at the end of the round, and then something changes so you need to be able to defend, you can spend 10% to change your action to attack or parry.
Okay.
And then, then you wouldn't be able to reassign. You'd be stuck with whatever you assigned before.
Right. Okay.
That make sense?
Yep. I think she's going to call out again. That's
Okay.
quick action. I think.
Hold on. Actually, your quick actions goes in order here of initiative, and the intruder has initiative.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So first thing, intruder.
So I'll take my.
Yeah. So you're about to whatever you're getting yourself ready to do. You hear the sound of, and the corner is completely shrouded in darkness, opposite from where you are. And there is a distinctive drop in the temperature within this room. And just the hairs on the back of your neck standing up tells you you are not alone in here. Jawar, do you have a swift action?
I do not.
Sir Kira, do you have a swift action?
Is Will's character is also one of the brothers, one of the half brothers, so he would have been around growing up with us. Another one of the foster children.
He's actually much older. He's about he I believe is in his 60s. So like he's been around for as long as you've been a child.
Yeah, I think I remember him in the last session saying that he thinks of Kira as like a niece or a little sister or something.
Definitely.
So
Yep.
I think she'll call out to him now.
So his proper name is Nim Rice, but everyone in the community knows him as Woodwolf.
Woodwolf. She'll shout out to Woodwolf.
And I think
Woodwolf.
so. You
What's going on?
that'll just be a 10% action for. So Jawar, you hear her call out again. I think that the voice sounds more strained this time.
Yeah, a little more panicky.
All right. Then we are on to regular actions. Now, what is your... Okay, I'm going to check one thing here. I copied down everything that I needed except for one darn thing. Because one of the things that undead do in this is many of the undead have a constitution drain.
Yeah, they surrender to knights, typically.
Yes. All right. Interesting. Okay. So, Sir Kira, what is your defensive bonus against range attacks? Yeah.
Against ranged.
Yes. It's missile. So your shield will apply, so it's 20, and your defensive bonus from your... Oh, you don't have your plate mail on. You don't have your magical alloy breastplate on. So it's 20 from that. And then your agility...
Quickness?
I'm trying to remember if quickness is... Defensive bonus from agility or quickness? Come on. Let's see here. All right. Defensive bonus is quickness. So your quickness bonus is 35, isn't it? 25?
Base?
10. 10 plus your shield, so 30 is your defensive bonus. Yeah, that's all you got. You can't, unfortunately, you're parrying. You can't parry a missile attack.
Right.
So it's 30 then. Jeffrey, would you give us a 1d100 with an exclamation mark plus... Let me see here. Plus 34.
Well, you already beat your defense.
Ooh. All right, so that's 126. Let's see here. And you currently have no armor on. So your AT is 1.
Goodbye.
126. Oof. So you take 14 points of damage, Sir Kira, and then we need to roll a D slashing critical. So, Jeffrey, would you give us another percentile roll, please?
Percentile. Oops.
Sir, you want to roll low on this one.
Oh, this thing is annoying. What? Gotta open the dice roller phone. Oh, it's a pain in the butt. All right, fine. I'm typing it in.
Yeah.
It wouldn't let me scroll down to the 1d100. It kept falling
30,
off.
much better. All right, so 30. Strike to side Foe is stunned for the next round and cannot parry, plus 3 hits. So take 3 more damage, and you are still this. What you hear? There's something that cuts, and though you can't see it, something cuts past your side, and you hear a thwunk as it hits the back. You don't, a quick look back and see one of those almost identical black iron shuriken that you, the broken bit of which you pulled out of the throat.
And so I'm stunned, no parry for 3 rounds?
No, for 1 round.
Oh, it was 3 points, right?
3 points, yeah, 3 extra points. So just stunned and parry for 1 round.
Sure.
Okay. Then it is Jawar's turn. You can hear a cry of pain from somewhere in that room. What are you doing? Standard action now.
Yeah, Jawar squats down, and on the sort of back of each of his little slippers, he pulls this thread that almost looks like spider silk, and he pulls it back tight, and a little, silverish glow sort of goes around the edge of his feet.
Love it. All right, Sir Kiera. Now, you are stunned, which means you cannot attack. You cannot parry because of the result of the thing, of the crit. You still can move, though, and there are, I think, other actions you can take. What did you have planned to do?
She didn't have an attack plan, so that's fine. I was actually thinking of dodging if something came in the room, but
so if you let's see if you can dodge. I was going to double check.
It's got a double asterisk, and it says 50 to 100%, so I don't know.
So dodging is an interesting action because it's actually it's a moving maneuver. But let's see if you can dodge. Let's see if you can dodge when you're stunned. So take the average of your agility and quickness bonus, which I think is like 12.5 for you, right?
Agility 15 and 10, yeah, 12.5.
Dodging is considered 100% activity. If this exceeds the character's activity for the current round, then the action carries over into the next round.
Okay.
Okay, and let me just double check the phrasing of the results. Stunned and unable to parry. And the only other actions allowed are movement and maneuvers, both modified by minus 75. So you can do this, but you're going to take minus 75 because of the parrying. But that's why I put 100s on dice.
Yep.
So then what you're going to do, the average of your agility and quickness bonus is 12, right?
Yep, 12.5, yeah.
12, okay, so give us a 1, and then what you're rolling on is the moving maneuver table, and that is on the extremely hard column. Give us a 1d100 plus 12, exclamation mark. Or exclamation mark for the 1d100.
1d100 exclamation mark plus 12?
Please, yeah. Oh, wait. No, it's minus 75, though. So it's actually 1d100 exclamation mark minus 62.
Okay, we could just minus 75 from...
Okay.
Wait, what are you trying to do?
Because he's stunned, he takes a penalty. All his or stunned and can't parry, he takes a penalty to any of the static maneuvers. So let's just.
I didn't know I was going to be stunned when I chose that.
So let's do this. We'll walk through what it would have been, and then just so we understand how dodging works. So 109 on the extremely hard thing gives you a.
Oh, so dodging is normally extremely hard.
Well, here's the reason it's extremely hard is because the number you get here, so 100, what did you roll, 109? 109 gives us a result of 60 on the extremely hard. That becomes the DB against everything that attacks you.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's not like parrying where you have to spend an extra 10% for each additional parry that you do. Unfortunately, with the minus 75, or it becomes, what is that, 34? So 34 is extremely hard, failed to act. So
she's just not able to dodge because she's stunned.
Exactly. The pain of it, the shock just threw you off for what you were going to do.
Okay, that totally makes sense too in the fiction.
Yep. And then Sir Kira, do you speak Diari? The Dark Elf language.
Those are listed where?
Top right of your character sheet, first page.
Oh yeah. No.
Okay, so what you hear is he says another. What happens is he comes from out of the darkness. This intruder comes striding, and even though his eyes are completely cataract over, you can tell he's just staring at you. He says another word and you have recognized Elvish, but this sounds like a very, very ugly version of Elvish.
Yeah, she speaks Ilar.
Ilari. Okay, so this is a debased word, and I think maybe you might know this word might be a carryover. Death. And what happens is there's a small pulse of light at his neck, and another shuriken appears in his hand. That is all right. Jawar, what are you doing?
Okay, so now we see the camera from outside the building looking at Jawar. He now stands back up in the window, and as he starts to lean out, the camera shifts till it's 90 degrees, and he leans out with it.
Yeah.
And then he turns and starts running across the side of the inn.
Okay.
And he's gonna run over to Sir Kira's window, and then he's going.
Has the blinds drawn now?
Yeah, he's just going to jump right through the window.
Love it. Give us an acrobatics check here.
Is Jawar played by Jackie Chan? Because I think I've seen this before.
Acrobatics. Here we go.
Amazing. Okay, so you smash through the window, and what do we see as you land, and where do you want to position yourself in relation to...
He just wants to land in the room and turn and stand so that he can see what's going on, right?
So I think you can picture you're sort of positioned. So Kira's on one side of the room, this intruder is on the other side of the room and is advancing towards him. You can see the sword in one hand, a shuriken in the other, and he kind of spins and looks at you.
Okay, so how much of my percentage did that use to make that move? That was the only thing I didn't know.
It's probably 20 feet of movement to get across, and then 30% to get... It's probably 50% to do both of those two things. To break the window and to get in.
Okay, so that's everything then, yeah.
End of the round, guys. All right. Then, let's have everyone decide what you're doing with your next round here. Anyone reassigning any... what do you call it? And what I'll do is I'll ask you guys if you're ready, to tell me if you've got your OBDB assigned. You guys are ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Then, Sakura, maybe this is why you've recovered from the stun so quickly, is because Jawar is in here. Then, I got to sign for this guy too. Hold on.
I mean, it's not because she's like a trained knight, battle-hardened warrior. It's because some man showed up?
I think it is reinforcements arriving. Being a keen tactical...
I'm just messing with you, Kev.
Okay. You will see, especially when you get your plate mail on, there's no one who needs, not like Kira, who absolutely does not need anyone to save her. All right. So then, first up, we have... Swift actions. Anyone got a swift action here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Oh, he's not taking one?
He's not taking one, no.
Okay. I'm going to... so I've got my sai in my offhand, and now he's going to, swing his arm out, and some... what are they called? Tiger claws? Yeah.
Yep.
He's got these bracers on, and these big claws sort of slide out from the bracer as he swings his arm out, and he has activated his tiger claws.
Awesome. Okay, so that's what we said, 10, I think, wasn't it?
Oh, is it 10 for that?
I think that one's a quick one. Yeah, that's just like a command action.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 is your adrenal move. All right, Security, do you have a swift action?
Yeah. So she's going to close the gap to like enough of this standing here and letting him use me for target practice. And she's going to move to her right so that it's shield side, or easier to get shield up.
Okay.
Yeah, so like probably like 10 feet or so to cover.
Okay.
So that's what, 20% of my move?
20% of your move. Yep, that looks good. Okay.
So 20.
So you've got yourself in. Then we have... Now, I need to change my action, so I got to spend 10. And then it is the intruder's turn. So the intruder, seeing Sir Kiera advance, is going to turn and swing that vicious-looking blade of his. So, Sir Kiera, what is your total DB against melee right now?
She would sleep in her leather jerkin, right? That's...
A leather jerkin is, well...
It's only got an armor rating of 5. Is that like just like a leather jacket, or is that like coated?
Yeah, it'd be like sleeping in a tight leather jacket.
Yeah, she probably isn't then. Okay. Yeah. So then, just her defensive bonus, her with shield is 40, and 69 from the sword defensive bonus, so 109.
109. Okay, so Jeff, would you give us a 1d100 exclamation mark minus 409?
Minus 409?
Yeah, because I've only got 60%. 60 attack bonus.
So minus 49.
Minus 49, yeah.
Okay.
I was like 409, I thought.
Yeah.
Oh, 49. No, sorry,
Minus
you guys.
49.
Much more on the ball than I am.
Oh!
All right.
That,
so
intruder.
He swings at you, and thunk, that shield of yours goes up. And his attack plays off of that shield. Jawar, you're up next. Oh, actually, hold on. Should be... There we go. Jawar, what are you doing?
Jawar is going to close the distance to the intruder.
Okay.
So it's based on, I guess, how much.
So we were saying it's probably about 10 or 15 feet, which is like.
Okay, so that's
25% of your movement at the most.
Yeah.
Say 20%. That's probably plenty.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Sir Kiera, what are you doing?
Swing.
Okay. His defensive bonus is 100.
100. But that's why they have 100 on the dice, right?
Damn straight.
84.
Okay. Let's see here. Oh, man, that's a great roll, too. Shit. Okay, so you swing, and I don't think 24... Let's see here. He is armor type 1. He's not wearing any armor. You're using a broadsword, right?
Yep.
So even though those...
silver...
You're great. So 24 is 0. So he far more skilled than I think any opponent you've ever faced.
Okay.
Okay, he moves almost as quick as what this monk seems to. Then, on his action, I don't think I've got anything else I'm doing for mine. So Jawar...
yeah, okay, so Jawar will attempt to strike him with his clawed hand.
So I'm spending 10 to do another parry here, so his DB is 100.
Okay, so I click on my martial arts strike.
Yep.
Wait.
On the right side, the one on the right.
It didn't do anything.
There's probably a pop-up that is hidden somewhere.
Yeah, it'll ask you for the DB.
Yeah, I know, I was expecting that. What? That was weird. Okay, let me try that again. Martial arts strike. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Do I just put I put 100 in though, right?
Put 100. Yep.
It'll know to subtract it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, like that.
Okay, so this guy is as skilled as any of the masters that you have fought before.
Yeah, which is kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah. Then, Sir Kiera, do you have anything else for your 30%?
We probably don't have a lot of maneuverability in the room, right?
No. Now there is. Hold on.
But now that Jawar's there, can she maneuver to try and get into a flanking position for next turn?
So right now you are I think the way you guys have described, you're sort of flanking. If you're trying to get to the rear, you could try and do that. But he's got
rear. Yeah, I don't know about rear. I just I guess Jawar wasn't there for any kind of flanking bonus this time, so I'll just hopefully rely on some kind of a flanking.
Yeah, because here's the offensive modifications, guys. So if you got a flank attack, plus 15 to your attack roll. So
right, and that's without even. That's like not D&D where you're like totally front to rear, like front.
You know,
that's just like
if you can get
guys,
yourself behind, plus 35 from a rear attack.
You know what she'll do then? Being the tactics savvy commander of the battlefield, she will. Can she back up to try and draw the creature forward? Because she know that it's fighting. It's coming for her. She thinks it's coming for her.
Yeah. I'll let you do that. Yeah.
So she'll draw it towards the window if she can. Like she'll step backwards, hoping that it comes towards her.
Okay. So I think what it does it's had its action. So that is the advantage of being at the end. You can. How far do you think you're going to move?
She'll move like across the room, like.
Okay.
20%
So
of her...
if he had not taken an attack yet, or if he had multiple attacks, he could do an attack of opportunity on you as a free action, but there isn't. Fortunately, he does not. That is the end of the round, guys. Then.
Oh no, I have a 20% action.
Oh, what's your 20% action?
I'm gonna try my adrenal
Nice!
speed move. Yeah,
Love it.
Might as well roll it.
Fuck
if I
yeah.
had 20 left, I might as well do it, right?
Yep.
He steals his gaze at the blue guy and clenches his butt cheeks.
Yes!
He's never done this move properly. Finally.
Beautiful. So next round, you'll have 200% action. That's amazing.
Yes. That's
all right, guys. So we're at the start of the round. I'm
just gonna make this 200.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an adjustment to his OBDB. Alrighty. So then, top of the round, does anyone have... I'm gonna check one thing, guys. I might have a swift action here. Let's see. I do have a swift action. Okay, so everyone's made their decisions.
Yep.
Okay, swift action. Jawar, do you have an attack plan for this round?
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't change my number yet.
Okay.
Just 1 second. Pack sheet. Let me do this. You know what? Screw that. Let's just do. $89. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So this thing is going to be leaving you. It's going to leap over you. It activates something and is going to says some kind of word in a language you don't understand at all. It's definitely not Dark Elf. Probably a magical language of some kind.
Yeah.
And it like kind of pinwheels over you and lands behind Sir Kira.
Okay.
Then, so it's between the open window and where she is. Go ahead and make let's see here. I think you can make an attack. I'm just going to double check the rules for attacks of opportunity here, guys. Forgive me for having to look this up.
I mean, it's the same difference if I move and attack him twice. Or are you thinking I might actually get an extra attack?
I actually don't. Yeah, that's what I want to double check.
Okay.
Like now that I said that out. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's pretty hard to jump over someone in an in room without being close enough to them.
It does take up your normal. Moving away from a foe without using this action, without using disengage, allows the foe to make an attack on the foe normally if they have the appropriate amount of activity percentage remaining. So it's one of the reasons why you might want to act after everyone. So Jawar, you can make one of your attacks now.
Oh, cool.
Assuming you're going to.
Yeah, might as well.
Yep, his defensive bonus is a 90 right now.
Okay. I really upped my thing for this turn.
Awesome.
Yes!
Oh, nice. Look at that. 98 plus 27. So 108, even with the thing. So, let's see. That was, and martial arts striking is what you did?
Yeah.
Fuck yes.
Oh, man. 108. That is a 15C.
15? Okay, so 15 points here.
And it's a C.
C martial arts striking critical. So go ahead and give us a percentile roll. Not open-ended.
So just a D100?
Yep.
1D100.
Oh! I know you can spend astonishing fortune on everything. A soft blow. Here's what the result you... Oh, it was a C, right? A soft blow.
Yeah.
You have initiative next round. Plus 5 hits. Do you want to re-roll that? Or you want to take that?
You know, that's not terrible, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I get to act first on him next round, too.
Yep. What do you think?
Yeah, and he took 5 more damage, and he also takes 1 from the slashing table.
From the which?
Because that's what the tiger claws do.
Oh, yes, a C crit slashing, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, shit, actually, Kev, it says here, claws add 10 to MA.
Yes, so you should be including that in there when they're out.
Oh, so that was actually a 118.
118 is 18C, so I'll take another 3 off of them. And then go ahead and give us a percentile roll for your slashing crit.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out this system, but it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, and I
78.
rolled nice and high on that one.
Slash muscle and tendon in foe's shield arm. Plus 9 hits. Foe takes 4 hits per round, and arm is useless. Foe is stunned 6 rounds.
Is that the shuriken hand?
Wow.
So what he do? Here's the thing. Because of the nature of thing you're fighting, he's not affected by the... well, first, he is affected by the 9 hits. The bleeding does not affect him. The stunning
bleeding out
does not affect him, but the arm is useless. So yeah, what happens is as he's leaping over you, Kira, you see him. Jawar gets this vicious strike with his claw, and you hear tink to the ground as his shuriken falls in front of you. So that was Jawar's interrupt action. Sir Kira, do you have a swift action?
She does not.
That uses 50 though, even though I interrupted, right?
That uses 50%. Yeah, even though you interrupted, it uses 50% of your move. Yeah. Okay.
She does not have a swift action.
Okay, so then it is the intruder's turn. He lands behind you. The one hand is limp, but he is going to be able to attack you from behind now. So he's going to
Could a
get.
swift action have been to like turn around?
It'd be minus if that's not what you're planning on doing. You could do that, but it takes another 10% because you're changing your action.
Because I didn't plan that. So, but I'm just wondering because I would have never have known that he would have been behind me.
Exactly.
But like, so it got to my initiative. I didn't have a swift action planned. It's a additional minus 10 or additional 10 cost to do something.
Exactly. So like if you wanted to spin around, I think the minimum cost on movement is like 10%.
So that
minimum 10%.
Yeah.
So that would have been a 20% move to turn around.
Yeah, to spin around so you can have your shield in place. I buy that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's just me not knowing the rules. So I would say that's what Sakura would do.
Absolutely. Okay, so and then just in time for this thing to attack you. So he's not rear attacking you. So my Jeff, would you give us what's your total DB right now? Against melee.
It is 129.
129. Holy shit. So that means 1d100 exclamation mark minus 59.
Ooh, he caught you though.
36 against let's see here, 36.
We said it was 1.
Yeah, she doesn't have any armor on, so.
Yeah, so that's nothing. I need to get at least an 84. I need to get 79 in order to even do any damage to you. So your defensive, you're hitting the shield. Once again, your training is proving to be your, and I think the caution. I'm not sure how much you put into DB, but
She put 89 into DB because her plan was to pull it towards her and get defensive and let Jawar hit it from behind.
Awesome. Then it is Jawar's turn. We've got 50% action.
Yeah. So, well, I can use a huge move then, since I have all this extra action this turn.
So because you are hasted, though, you can take 2 attacks in this round. Normally, you can only take 1 per round, but...
Right, but I'm saying I could move up to my entire 100% of my move and still have 50 left for another attack.
Yes, you could.
So even though he's repositioned himself, I imagine now maybe Jawar is going to like turn and run sideways and sort of like run up the wall because he's still got his slippers active.
Yeah.
And like cross the room in such a way that now he's back around, sort of countering this guy's jump.
Yeah. I'll even let you, if you're spending that much of your movement for it, I'll even let you get a flanking bonus on, or a rear flanking bonus on him.
Nice.
So you're
I'm at
plus
150.
25 then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And one thing we were talking about too is instead of giving yourself 200%, we were thinking of like half cost.
Oh yeah,
for
that's
your things.
right. Then I don't have to change the token.
Well, and also it means that you move faster then too. So like for this kind of maneuver, it'll actually only take 50% move of your action instead of 100%.
Right, and attacks only take me 25 this turn.
Exactly. Then Sir Kira, what are you doing?
Fixed it.
You got an attack coming here?
She does have an attack. She doesn't have a lot into it.
Okay.
Only 20 points.
DB is 90.
His DB is 90?
Yeah.
Yeah. We need some exploding.
And for scaling, like this is a very difficult opponent to fight.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
just to give your...
Well, and that's after like last time she attacked with like kind of a balanced approach and she didn't come anywhere close. She's like, screw this, I'm on defense.
Yeah.
Okay, but so does she gain a flank bonus then if I'm behind him or no?
She
Until
does.
after I
She would
attack
get a
him?
flanking bonus, yeah, for sure. Because because he's sort of fighting. He's facing her, so she doesn't get a
Right,
flanking
he's
bonus.
just fighting her, yeah.
Yeah. So that is a swing. It's not a crit or not a fumble. So, but yeah, I mean, it's as you say, like you're erring on the side of defense here, keeping this thing at bay. Then it is. Go ahead.
Okay. No, sorry.
Nothing to add? Okay. Then it is... hold on. The intruder's already attacked. Let me add in 50 there. All right. He's parried once. He's going to have to... add... He's not doing anything else because he's saving that extra parry. Jawar. Got a second action?
Yeah, my second attack now.
Please do.
So again, he's attacking with this claw.
Okay.
He saw the effectiveness of it, so now he's going to
So it's a
make another
90
claw attack.
defensive bonus, but you're going to get plus 25 also on top of whatever your other bonuses are, plus 25 from rear flanking.
Nice.
So you could be like 65 dB, if you want.
Yeah, so 65 instead of 90.
Okay. Let's see here.
Oh, it's a hit.
It's a hit. Okay, 61.
Maybe. Let's see. Oh, it's a 5A.
Nice. Okay.
Yes.
So 5 on him.
So that as soon as there's a letter, that means I need percentage, right?
That means you need a percentage roll, exactly. You can just roll 2 right away here if you like. And
Yeah. So I'll just do /roll 2d100s.
Okay.
So the first one will always be the martial arts, and the second one will be the
works for me.
slashing.
86, nice. So first one was fluid move followed by a leaping kick to foe's back, knocks foe down, and stuns for 3 rounds. So he's not stunned, but he is knocked down. Knocked to the ground, and then the slashing crit, 75. Slash tendons in foe's lower leg. Foe at minus 30% and takes 2 hits per round plus 4 hits. I'll give you that.
So it's just the 4 damage. And but he's at minus 30? Does that mean minus 30%?
Minus 30%. So he's minus 30. So his his weapon skill now is going to be 30 less, and then I divvy up the things.
Nice.
Okay, write that down for him. So yeah, and he's down on the ground with this. So I guess maybe like you kind of ran across the wall and then leapt down and kind of cut out the tendon in one of his legs.
Yeah, like sort of kicked him down and then cut the tendon in the back of his leg once he hit the ground.
Vicious. Then it is Sir Kira. You got 30% left. Anything you're doing?
Secured isn't going to do anything except in ILR, the High Elf language.
Yeah, Ilari?
Ilari, she'll say, looks like you're failing, fiend, at your task.
Okay. That is the end of its actions as well, too. So end of the round, guys.
Doesn't know if it knows Ilari, but it sounded like it spoke some kind of elven tongue.
Most definitely. Okay, so here's the thing. Jawar, for this round, you will have initiative over the intruder.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because of my crit.
First up, Jawar, do you have any swift actions?
Yeah, because I can. So I couldn't do it last round, so it's like I can't do it every round. But this turn, I can try and do my thing again, right?
At the end of this round, you put 20% in, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I see. I can't do it as a quick action. That the quick time. It doesn't matter really when I do it.
Yeah.
Because it only affects next round.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay. I'm good. I don't have a quick action.
No swift action because you get that first. Okay, so this thing looks up, and again, you can feel with it on the ground with its busted leg and its limp arm. It looks up at you, and it says in its diary, so it doesn't quite, thing, but it says soon, and then it vanishes in smoke.
I do speak diary.
Yeah, so soon is what it says, and then it disappears. Now, Jawar, why don't you give us a lore Changramai philosophy check, please? Okay. And Servantia, you could give us a lore history check if you like as well. These are both.
Oh, nice.
So one of the legends that you've heard of these things is that there are monks are not just like Jawar, where they fight with martial abilities. There are some who are able to tap into magic, and there is a type of assassin monk that does such a thing, or makes use of magic in such a way, that are referred to as Nightblades. And this is absolutely characteristic of what a Nightblade is capable of. So with this thing vanished, the rain falling outside, the peal of thunder coming in from out over the Bay of Ulor, you guys look at each other, and Shakira, you check and see you're not bleeding from where that hit happened. What do you guys do?
First, I look at the window, and I apologize. I'm sorry, Sir Kara. I'll try and close it up as best I can and seal the blind, maybe, or not the blind, but like the drape, to try and keep the weather out.
Jawar, you don't need to make a check for this, but you can hear the beating of wings. And for a split second, as the lightning flashes out to your left, out over the to the west, over the Bay of Ulor, there's a black seagull.
That's the second time I've seen that thing.
So you're sort of fussing. Sir Kira, what are you doing? And what are you thinking?
Her head is just spinning now because of all of the weird stuff that's been going on that's so unlike normal. First Jawar, are you okay? Where are the others? We won't get into where the others are because they're not here.
Yeah. I think that they were in some kind of a sleep, trance or something. Maybe
they could have been trying to get their way down here and breaking their way in the door because the door is still locked.
The darkness, right? Maybe they couldn't get through the darkness. I could say that there was magical darkness in the hallway. They maybe were unable to reach us in time.
That darkness has vanished, by the way, now.
And what did you say it was called? Kind of a Nightblade?
So this is just for you guys. There is one of the classes in Rolemaster is something called a Nightblade. And it's kind of like a magical assassin.
Oh, that's not what Jawar would call it?
It's just, there are definitely users, like there are types of monks that would study at the Chiangmai Monastery who do make use of magic. That would be from the monk class. The Chiangmai don't really train assassins, but the Nightblade is sort of a darker version of that.
Right. I guess what I was trying to... He was trying to describe to her what it was, but then he would say, like, that's an abomination. That wasn't... Like, that wasn't a monk of the...
Yarth?
Yarth clan.
Oh, it absolutely could be.
Oh, they do? They are undead?
They are allied with a... something called the Iron Wind.
Oh,
the Iron Wind is one of... It's something that is allied with something called the Unlife. The Unlife is the sort of unspeakable outside. It is like a nihilistic stillness that tries to bring an end to creation. And the monks of Yarth are agents of that.
Well, I think...
Or the Iron Wind, it says. Or so.
She would have called it a Nightblade from that little bit that she recalled of history.
Yeah.
But she's like, thank you, my friend, for coming to my aid and helping me against that Nightblade.
You're hurt. And he'll point to her torn nightshirt where she's probably got some blood on her hip or wherever the...
It hit me with one of those stars, those shurikens that the fragment that I found. I was barely
Did you
able
pull
to...
it out?
I think it was glancing blow. We'll go find it.
So with the... We can assume that maybe some of the other guys have come in at this point too and have lit... Someone has brought in a lit lantern.
Yeah.
Or not a lantern, a candle.
Right.
What you can see, Sir Kira, embedded in the wall is one of those shurikens, which is stained with your blood. And then there's another one on the ground.
Does my wound look okay? Do I need to do like a medicine check or something to make sure I'm not poisoned?
You're not bleeding. You could make a first aid. Oh, hold on. You can actually use first aid to recover concussion hits. Hold on here. Because if you want to quickly treat that wound...
Yeah, I'll probably have to bandage it up so I don't bleed all over everything.
Yeah. I have first aid as well.
So...
Depending how she feels about that. I guess you would ask, should I take a look at it?
So concussion hits heal at 1 per hour if you're resting. So you get 8 concussion hits back over sleep. And then, let's see here. So first aid can reduce bleeding, but I think you might need herbs in order to... maybe I'm wrong about using... Maybe it's the bleeding I was thinking of. Because you're not actually bleeding. Like the critical hit results that have, X hits per round, that's a bleeding result. Right.
So it's like in normal D&D terms, it's just like almost like static hit point damage.
Exactly, yeah. What your concussion is if you lose all your concussion points, for one, like the more you lose, it's your ability to continue fighting. The more you lose, the more you start getting penalties to your actions. And then if you lose all of your concussion hits, you're knocked out.
Okay.
You're rendered unconscious. The game is, or the combat system at least, is a critical-driven thing. So like you'll see there's a list of wounds on there. If you had suffered some kind of permanent wound, like something that was bleeding, you'd put it in there, or a broken bone, or nerve damage, or whatnot. The game goes into an enormous amount of detail for specifically what those injuries are, but it adds to the thematic nature of it, right? Like the torn tendon, for instance, if Jawar somehow, like a griffin had got that result on you, that's what you would list, is torn tendon, limb useless, because there are spells that mend tendons.
Cool. Okay, so then I think it's more just like dress the wound and band it up and
it's more of a graze than anything. So what do you guys do next then?
She's like, did anybody else get attacked? Are the rest okay?
That thing came for you.
Why?
In the hallway, I heard it speak the word death.
It spoke in a language I do not understand, but it sounded enough like Ilari.
It's a similar tongue. It's dark elf.
Oof. And it will be back, probably. It failed in its duties.
When it disappeared, it left saying the word soon.
Soon. Soon what?
Soon your death is what it's foretelling.
Okay. Well, how long is it till...
The captain was right to place me here, protecting you.
The captain placed you here?
He asked me to protect you, yes.
Why? How could he have known this was going to happen?
He had his fears.
Based on what?
He did not share.
Did something happen to my brother?
Your brother chose to remain where he was and live a different life. I don't know if it was for fear of taking over for your father, or if it was just to seek another life. I was not privy to that conversation he had with the captain. All I know is he chose not to return. And the captain asked me, in fact, had planned to transfer my contract to her or to her father?
To her.
To her. He had spoke of transferring my contract to you.
Well, if I ever get the chance, I will be thanking the captain. For without your help, I don't know if I would have survived that fight. It was near impossible to hit.
Captain Lazar, he may be on, or he's probably staying in the obelisk as well. Because he's intending on riding.
He would be coming with us.
He's riding to Myrna Doom with you guys tomorrow. Yeah.
That's right, because he's going to be the one telling my father that my brother's not coming back.
Right.
Although I might relieve him of such a duty. Father will not be happy.
The captain definitely seems to have concern for your well-being, Sir Kiara. Maybe you should also question him about that tomorrow. And then Jawar will, with that's when he'll
I think
his leave.
Zartor Dak may actually suggest that, do you want to wake him? Should we wake the captain? And he's sort of addressing this to you, Jawar. Do you think would he want to know? And he looks down, sort of like his eyes go down towards where one of the fallen shuriken still lies.
I guess we should. And I'll send I don't know, Bodan to go rouse him.
Bodan walks up to the room. What's
yeah.
What's going
on?
on?
Wake the captain.
The captain?
There's been an attempted murder.
But I don't think Bodan's actually met him.
Oh, I just tell him what room, maybe, I guess.
Okay, sure. He's
the
like,
third
all right.
room down from
and
us.
he heads down. Maybe Ordak will go and he seemed to have a bit of a, not a bond, but like he was interested in the captain anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So Zartodak heads down, knocks on the door, and then shortly the captain comes in. I think once he gets in the room and sees sort of the broken window, which maybe you guys are in the process of trying to sort of fix at this point, he looks around and he comes running over to you, Sir Kira. He's like, "Are you okay?" And he looks at you, Jawar. "Is she all right? What happened?"
Jawar looks at Sir Kira to tell the story.
She nods to you or defers to you with a bit of a nod.
Okay.
You have a relationship with him.
Assassin, sir. Sent for Sir Kira. Came in speaking Dawari.
And he drops into Diari. So I think you're going to pick up like maybe every third word here, Sir Kira. And you're going to have some difficulty following the conversation, but you can get at least some of the key words. But he says, what was it? Did you recognize the attacker?
Yes. I don't know the man, but he was certainly a monk of the Yarth.
The monks of Yarth.
Yes. Sir Kara had found some Shuriken, some scholars killed on the road on her way up here, also of theirs. They seem to be, it could all be him. Here making a play, I'm not sure.
Then, Lady Kira, you certainly you cannot stay in this room tonight, and take my room, and Jawar stay with her. I will speak to Varthlon and see what needs to be done with this room. Do you have... I know you had business with the Duke as well. We should leave at first dawn. The sooner we meet Shmurnadoon, the sooner you will be safer at home than here. You're sure that you are okay? You were not injured?
Yes. I'm fine. Thank you. Jawar came to my aid. She looks over through the window. Bit of a smirk.
He looks over at the window. And he looks over at Jawar, kind of, grins. There's probably another time you've done this.
Yeah. And I look at him and I'm like, the door was blocked.
I believe we're gonna have.
But he knows I probably enjoyed it, so he's like.
And then she brings to attention the coin. She's like, I found a coin under. Yeah, it may perhaps slid under the door. I'm not sure. But it wasn't there when I went to bed.
One was slid under our door as well, right before I found the intruder. Maybe a friend, a warning.
Perhaps.
We did meet a strange monkey man in the bar earlier.
Give us a one of you guys. It's a D100 roll, please. Open-ended D1 with exclamation mark.
Oops.
Oh, it didn't matter.
Matter. So you can see Nimrice is. I'll just move some of their tokens up here so you can quickly see the names here. He's crouching near the entrance. He says that would explain these tracks then. And he points down.
Tracks?
He calls you over. And Sir Kira, I know you have some training in woodly ways. He says, like I taught you. Look from an angle, down. You can get plus 20 to this roll. Sir Kira, give us a tracking roll, please, at plus 20.
Nice.
That's not with the plus 20.
Fucking hell.
How do you add it?
I don't think you can on as a modifier on skill rolls in this sheet, but
Okay.
So that's 135. So you lean right down, and you saw Udu's unusual feat when he hopped up on the table to tell that story. And there is no mistaking his prints here. And looking down the hall towards where that open window is, there are similar markings where the light catches just a tiny bit of the grease left behind by his footfalls.
So he came into the room?
He came
Put the coin?
up to the room.
Up to the room.
To your door and to Jawar's door.
As I said, a warning from a friend.
Is there a significance beyond the warning? Does the coin assist in some way?
They are both Ulashaki silver drakes.
Who did we see Udu with earlier?
A navigator. He was sitting with that navigator. And come to think of it, you didn't see him speaking to anyone else.
Have you ever seen a creature like this,
No.
Captain? No, I'm asking the captain. He's the worldly one, so.
Right.
He
Yeah.
says forgive me, I was not in the bar. What did he look like?
Short, gray fur, white around the face, white around the arms, blue face, blue palms, blue soles of his feet.
It almost sounds like an ice crawl from the north. The seas far to the north of Jaiman, around the ruins of Kelborn. They lurk those seas, but they're much taller than a man even. Like an ape, you mean?
How tall was he, Kev? Like,
He's only about 3 feet tall.
okay, yeah, short, 3 feet, muscular though.
Bestial? Savage?
No, well spoken.
Again, it sounds like a Gark. But Garks can never be accused of having manners.
He was doing magic or sleight of hand at the table while he told us a tale.
And he was traveling with a navigator.
He was.
Navigators don't travel for recreation, and they don't do it for free. So if there was a navigator in the obelisk, it was there because he was paid to be there. And if this being was with him and not a pet, then it could have been who paid to have the traveler bring him here.
That would be my judgment.
If he did, then he is one of great power or of great wealth, or both. The navigator's services do not come cheap. Very curious.
Well, it's good to know that at least with the forces in play here, that some of the powerful ones seem to be on our side.
Jawar, the only ones who are on our side are us. What we know is that it was for its interest, for this, for you, he looks at you, Sir Kira, to be warned. Whether his interests continue to align with your interests is a question I would put to that creature. But it is definitely a boon. And Jawar, he turns to you, and it's sort of like the weight of what has happened to kind of hit him. Then he says, I knew I could entrust this to you. He looks exceedingly proud. Sorry, Dave, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I think she's going to palm the coin and hold on to it, and she's going to try and figure a way to keep that on her person.
Sure.
Not because it's like lucky in any way, but it's significant.
Absolutely. Where do you think you would secret it?
I think she's going to she'll wait till everyone's gone, but when she's getting dressed, she'll probably, I don't know, maybe take out a needle and thread or something like that, or get a needle and thread and maybe sew it to the inside of her jerkin.
Yeah, great, cool. That could maybe she could do that for sure before because she's going to have all her stuff. Like the guys will help bring all of her stuff over to the Captain Lazar's quarters or his room, and you'll take that one. Jawar, I take it you're going to keep watch with her.
Yeah, I'll sleep on the floor by her door now.
Okay. Anything
she'll
else
allow it,
you wish
of
to
course.
discuss with?
No, you won't sleep on the floor. She'll talk to the owner of the. They'll bring another bed in if they have to.
Jawar's, I insist. I sleep much better.
Then an extra blanket for my friend.
Thank you.
Okay. If you wait, yeah, Vartalon will be, eventually will make his way up here. And when he hears about what's happened, he is very upset. He wants to make sure that you are okay. And then he pulls Captain Lazar aside to have a sorry, LeVar. I keep saying Lazar. Aside to have a talk with him, and Myrna Dune is not really a place for intrigue, Sir Kira. It's rare. At the best, or at the worst, what you see is some gossiping going on between people. But there is much more intrigue going on here than than you maybe than you're used to dealing with. And as you're packing up your room too, you come across that bundle of books again. You're like, shit, Sylvan Lillian had sent you this down with you for you to deliver, and it still hasn't been delivered to that gnome.
Yeah, I think she'll ask about the gnome and if he's staying here yet or if he has arrived. Yeah,
Vartalon actually told the guys he was in the common room near the fire, but because the offspring of Oakford were kind of in near the way there, everyone decided that it was best for you to not make your way over to him.
Right. Vartalon, don't take this attack in your establishment as your fault. There's no way you could have stopped it or known. But
this is the kind of thing you pay for, though.
But if there's anything that you can do for us, it would be a hot breakfast ready to go at first light. We'll be departing as discreetly as we can.
You'll have that, Lady Kira. You certainly will have that. We'll have you something to go to, and there ain't going to be nobody else who's going to get in on you.
She was going to say, sir, but she kind of whispered it like, sir, under her breath, but...
Forgive me, my lady.
She doesn't want to make an issue of it. It was kind of like,
yeah,
just ignore what he... Just,
known you so long.
He means it.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to, like, he does normally call you Sir Kira.
He's flustered. He's
very upset. He's known you since you were a child, right? In the same way that, and I mean, he raised Nimrice. So in a way, because Nimrice was a bit of a, tutoring you, anything you learned in the way of like woodly ways or whatnot, that's all stuff you learned from Woodwolf. So in a way, you're kind of his grandchild. So he certainly would see you with certainly a great deal more favor than what he'd see your brother.
Yeah.
Then, what are you guys doing with the shuriken?
I actually don't want to hold it any longer. I think I'm going to pass them over to Jawar, and he can dispose of them or...
Well, yeah, I think that Jawar would say, I will have these destroyed.
Okay. And these are the same cheap-ass steel that you found, like the broken one that Sir Kiara had on her.
Right.
And still has, I think, as well.
I would want to destroy them. Sir
Kira, do you tell Jawar how they can... That strange magic that you saw where he spoke the word and then it appeared in his hand?
Yeah, I think I'm going to wait, though, until everybody's back settled to their rooms and it's just the two of us.
Okay.
Because I don't want to, get everybody else all worked up.
Sure.
Over this.
Okay. So then, unless there's anything else you wish to speak to Varthlon or Captain Zedek about, then you guys are left to retire.
And we'll take our mid-session break.
Yeah, we'll take our mid-session break. You know, it's almost like we played together before. So we'll take
I was gonna ask him one more thing. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
I was gonna ask him. Do you keep a ledger of the rooms, of the room assignments?
Varthlon says, yeah, we keep our rooms down, of course.
I suggest you keep it in a slightly more secure location in the future.
You can see he kind of like screws up, like he's gonna, try and like, how do you tell me how to? But
well, wait,
no,
Jawar, I had one of those shuriken pieces on me. Would that have?
Not one, but two visitors to the inn tonight knew which rooms we were in. If you want to attest that to magic, that's fine. But I tend to think more practically.
You're referring to the Sea Drake?
Yes, the coins.
Oh, yes.
It's just friendly advice, Sir Kira. Nobody needs to be worked up about it.
And Varthlon doesn't even get to the point where he's initially kind of upset because he's upset, but then shakes his head. Is like, "Fool, of course. When we got important people staying here, of course they should be done. Damn me for an old fool."
A trusting fool, maybe.
Fool nonetheless, Sir Kira.
She gives him a hug.
Oh, there. All right. Get yourself settled in the new room. We'll get you some fresh sheets come up. Don't want you coming away smelling like them captain, do we?
No.
Then I'll get those up to you promptly, and then you sleep in. But I'll be sure to have something fresh and warm for you for tomorrow morning. And these, and he kind of taps the books. You like me to deliver these to that gnome, then?
Please.
You can guarantee that I'll see that he gets them.
I'll also be... Captain, is there writing material at your room?
There is, my dear. Of course.
Okay. I was supposed to see the Duke before we leave, so I will just pen him a very simple message. We'll need that delivered as well in our absence.
I can do that. We'll have one of the boys drive it over for you right away. First thing tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Then, good night.
Good night again.
All right. So, as you guys retire to your room, why don't we take our mid-session break now, and then we'll come back and see what happens next.
Sounds good.
So, back momentarily, folks. All right. You kicked some ass there tonight there, Jawar.
Yeah, it's been fun so far.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very tough enemy, though, that's for sure.
Most definitely, yeah. One is with enemies that have, like, one of the neat things with Rolemaster is, like, often a lot of the enemies will have access to a fair amount of spells. Like, they'll have, a certain enemy will have access to all the base lists from, one career or a different career, or an open list or a closed list or something like that, which means there's a lot of neat little abilities they can use, but it also means that you can get to learn what is being used against you in some ways.
Right, totally.
Mm-hmm. So it's pretty cool. And because the spells have such short descriptions in Rolemaster, it's easy, even if you're managing, like, the one thing you guys fought had around, let's think here, around 60 different spells it could use. But it was, so I did, I made a point of, on Wednesday night and then today I did a quick look over at what the spells were so I can kind of have in my mind what they were, but I didn't memorize any of them. I just had in mind kind of things that they could use. So it's easy to use just from opening the book and kind of going from there.
Yeah, totally.
Or
there's so much to this game once you start digging into it, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. All right. So then, the good news I have for you is that, Sir Kira, you get a solid 8 hours of rest, which means that you're going to gain... hold on.
I wanted to say something to her before we...
Oh, please do. Yeah. Before, go right ahead.
Yeah, when we get back to the room, is Dave here? Sorry.
Yeah, he's here.
Yeah. His picture's just gone for me, so I can't tell. I'm not trying to mess with you. Your picture's just a picture of your character on my screen, so I can't see you. Jawar would say, I'm sorry, Sir Kira. I should not have set blame on your friend, Vartlon. I can see that he obviously cares for you. In the future, if we are to stay somewhere, we will give out another name.
I appreciate the apology, and your concern is noted. In the past, I've never had to worry about this, though, so I've left my name here multiple times.
Well, I'm sure you didn't even give it tonight.
No, I don't think we had to. So it's strange that everything that's happened in the last 2 days has been not normal to such a degree that your ideas, while questioning Vartlon might not have been easy on him, I don't think it's unnecessary, and I think your ideas are something that we should definitely look into for the future.
I'm trained to protect, and when I see a weakness, be it in a lock on a door or a sheet of paper that is essentially a map to our location, I point it out.
So, and this is where she'll bring up, but the creature didn't use the door. The creature came through into the room with some kind of dark magic, and she'll describe what she saw. How do we defend against that?
Dark arts indeed. It summoned the darkness and seemed to be able to move right through it. I don't know how to combat it. I have never encountered that magic before. Maybe one of your friends, the elves, would have some idea on how to counter such dark magic.
That's definitely something. I don't know. I don't know if any of them have knowledge of that. They've changed a lot since they left.
I have seen Ordak produce some forms of magic.
Indeed. Both, I guess all three of the sons. Should we call them the sons?
The son. They were doing toasts to the sons of Tavar last night, so...
Yeah. All three of the sons of Tavar have some kind of power in one form or another. Perhaps we should consult them all.
Maybe there is a magical light that would pierce the darkness. It's worth asking.
Indeed. And she looks down at her sword and her shield and says, they're fine weapons, some of the finest around, but I wonder if they are even a fine steel broadsword. What is that against a creature of dark?
Yes. It seemed to shrug off the injuries that the blade could produce. I injured it severe. I gave it 2 injuries that would have severely injured a man, and it seemed to almost shrug them off.
We'll have to find a way. But for now, we should get some rest, because tomorrow we leave early, and I fear that we'll have a difficult trip.
I agree.
Okay. So you otherwise have the evening. I'm trying to think. So it would have been probably around 1 when this attack happened, which means if you're going to sleep another, and then an hour of sort of getting situated back into the new room.
4 hours?
Yeah, so probably 2 in the mornings when you get to sleep. What time are you thinking of getting up to leave?
We got to be up and probably by 6, and then maybe first flight's at like 6:30 or something like that, and we are sneaking out the back.
Okay.
Stable boys got our horses ready, and we're gone.
So then you're going to gain 4 concussion hits back then from sleeping, and in the morning we actually haven't met George's character yet in the game, Zarda Crick, so we're not going to have him on screen or at this thing. But what you see, nor Hobbs' character for that matter either, or John's character or Arlen's character, but at breakfast you can see that Zortordak, Nimrice, and Bodan are up and eating. You can see that Captain Zedek is with them as well, and there is someone who you recognize, Sir Kira, but that you've not met before, Jawar, sitting with him, and he's talking to Captain Zedek. The rest of the guys are sitting down at the table eating. Captain Zedek is eating, but also talking to this man, and that is Sir Kira Dorak. Dorak is the court wizard for the Duke.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure you know him well, but he's a constant presence at the Duke's court. So when he sees you, a look of concern kind of goes over his face, and he says, Sir Kira, I heard that you were attacked last night.
She looks around like, is this like public domain? Like, she's like, I appreciate your concern, Dorak.
Well,
yes,
the Duke is greatly concerned about your safety. We knew that you had returned. A word came to us that your brother has not returned. But it was not till this morning when I came calling. Vartalon told me. Tell me, are you hurt? Are you injured?
A few scratches, but more questions and concerns.
He steps forward and kind of, makes you bring your head up to meet his eyes. He says, weary still. Wait. And he stops for a moment, and he kind of brings his hand up and then gestures towards you. And there's this sort of swirl of bluish energy that passes forward and then into you. And give me a second here. I just need to know how many dice you're rolling here. Here we go. Would you roll 5d10 dice, please? Or 5d10 dice. 23. So you're restored for 23 more, so you're back up to full. Concussion hits. You know that Dorek is he's a wielder of mentalism magic, but he is as is often, quite useful for a court wizard. Not only is he a wizard of the mind, he is in fact a healer. He uses mentalism magic to bind wounds, to bring people back from near death, any catastrophic injuries or whatnot, even accidental ones, not just war wounds. Dorek restores it with his magic.
Is there anybody near us, or is it just Dorek, or does he have some guards with him? Or?
No, he's on his own. He's a very powerful wielder of mentalism.
He doesn't need any guards around.
No. He's this is a guy in the maybe not Gandalf scale of power, but he's definitely a powerful wizard.
Well, Sir Kiera will say, "Are you familiar with Nightblades?"
I am.
Monk of Yarth.
Now
we believe it was a Nightblade, Monk of Yarth, that attacked in the night, a creature of non-living form.
You can see he's thinking for a moment. Yarth, as if trying to place it, and then he's... Monk of Yarth?
Am I missing anything, Jawar?
You've said it correctly.
And young man, I hear we have you to thank for assisting our young knight in driving off her attacker.
Yes, he struck it a few times. Quite well.
It's said that the monks of Yarth are in service to the Iron Wind. So one thing you guys would know is that there are tales. Let me just bring you over to the map of Jaiman to give you a little bit of more information here. So in the center of the Bay of Ulor is, to call it an island is maybe undervaluing how big the thing is, because it's almost 180 feet, 180 miles long. There is an island of Ulor in the middle of the Bay of Ulor, and that place, from the time of the Second Age of Ire, there are legends that, or at least there are legends that go back to the Second Age of Ire, speaking about the dark sorcerer in service to the Iron Wind that has its stronghold in Ulor. It's said that in the Wars of Dominion, the Master of Ulor drove armies through Za'ar and Liaran down into the surrounding regions. Liaran and Za'ar were both once populous and thriving parts of the two kingdoms of Soralis and of Ulashak, but because of the Master of Ulor's influence, they are wastelands crawling with Lagroki, with the bestial, the demon things, like pig stink. Armies sworn in service to their Dark Master. Since the end of the Second Age of Ire and the Wars of Dominion, it's said that the Master was defeated, but no thinking person goes by choice to Ulor, because still to this day, no one returns from it. It is a place that everyone sails well around. But this is... The monks of Yarth, Dorek says, the Master of Ulor It said they once answered to him. And if they stir in these lands, these damned priests of the Sea Drake first, now this, and the fool from Saral, there is no end of trouble. And certainly not helped by your... And it's almost... You can tell he's going to curse about your brother and catches himself. Matches your eyes and says, well, you are safe at least, Sir Kiara. And that is good. We have more good news as well. Your Duke would like to meet with you. But I know you feel your duty is to see to your father. Well, Captain Lazar is an old friend of not only your father, but your family. He and the others will return to Myrna Doom as planned first in the morning. But it seems that some of my former pupils have mastered arts in excess of my own. And they have a plan. And he turns and kind of gestures at Zartor-Dak. As Zartor-Dak looks up at you, Sir Kiara, and he gestures and then brings his hand across his face. And in place of that lean, elven features with the dark hair, he suddenly transformed into a replica of what you see in the mirror. And he says, Dorak says, a ruse. If your attackers intend on pursuing you, why not give them a false pursuit? We've discussed this with Captain Lazar, and he feels that Jawar can keep you safe. You send these back, seemingly you traveling back to Myrna Doom with urgent news for your father. Make it known, slyly, and once they have left, and your pursuers have followed, we will secret you to the Duke's Keep, and you will meet with him. And then after, you and Jawar, in secret, can make your return to Myrna Doom, free of pursuers. And he looks over at Zartor-Dak, and again, you see like there's a little look of maybe pride in Dorak's eyes. What do you think, sir?
John gets an off-screen TPK.
Captain Zedek is kind of looking at you, Jawar, like waiting to see if you agree with this.
And he's like, it's a fair plan.
Then Captain Zedek says, but the lady, Sir Kiara, we would not make these decisions for you. What say you?
The plan definitely has merit, and one way to draw the attackers away. My only problem with the plan is that my friends are drawing an attack that is meant for me.
And you hear Nim Rice says, and happy to do so. And Zartor-Dak says, kind of nods. Again, it's weird seeing your face nodding back at you. And Bodan kind of slams the table. Bring them on!
You would.
Yeah.
And let it be so, but be careful. And do we have any means of... Jawar hit it at least twice in what I saw was considerable fashion, something that would have fell in a lesser man or even a great foe. But do we have any ways of hurting this creature?
So Zartor-Dak begins speaking, and it's speaking now in your voice. And Zartadak says...
almost wants to tell him not to do that.
he says, let them come. My brother will be with us. And if they burn, or they freeze, or they fry, or they're flayed, they will fall from his magics. And Nemrice kind of leans on this. And you know that... So what Nemrice... you've always known him to have this but he has an ancient, bizarre device. Gunpowder is not unknown in this world. In particular, like the Rakani Empire makes effective use of gunpowder and magical, derivatives of it. But Nemrice has a weapon that he calls Tavar's rifle, and it fires some kind of energy discharge. And this is a weapon said to like date back from the times of the Lord's Arcane, from the first age of Ire. You have seen the effectiveness on this thing. It's effectively, for like out of character, it's effectively a blaster rifle. So he sort of leans on this and taps it, and you know that they will put on a show as if they are defending you yourself.
Okay. So she walks over to Zart, and actually she'll go to, so they probably came down with a bunch of stuff or whatever. She'll walk around the table and she'll pick up her shield. She'll say, "You'll need to be wearing this."
Okay. He gestures, and an illusory one appears.
Oh, in that case, what's the innkeeper guy's name again?
Vartalon.
Vartalon, I'll need something to cover this.
Of course. And he, Dorek says, looks and says, I believe I may be able to assist. There is, it's one of the things I mentioned in the kind of rundown of the setting. Like, it is not, scaling in power in Rolemaster is a little different than it is in D&D, so it's not like this, the difference between like a, first level and 10th level character or whatnot is not quite as much of a gap. As you get to a certain point in your skills, you start trickling off. Like the ranks at first, every rank you get gives you +5, but then once you reach 10 ranks, it becomes +2, I believe, and then eventually becomes +1. So you're petering off with the added bonuses you get. But what that also means is that there can be, it's not uncommon to have 30th level NPCs, kicking around the town.
Yeah, well, she's just thinking if she needs to cover up her heraldic design.
Well, the reason I mention it is because I was checking to see, Dorak has access to a whole bunch of different things. He can actually create an illusion on you that will hide that. He's going to magically conceal you as, like, just a regular traveler or something like that.
Excellent. She's like, "Can I have brown hair and braids?"
he sort of smiles at it and says, "As you wish, my sir." And he gestures, and in place of Sir Kira, you now see standing there tell us what she looks like.
I'm thinking kind of like what's her name? Like a Kate Beckinsale, kind of a little bit longer hair.
Sure. Okay.
And she turns to Dorak and she goes to everyone. She's like, "No more, sir, if this is going to last."
Vartalon kind of laughs. He says, "Won't be hard for me."
No.
Shall we disguise him too, then? He points at Jawar.
Jawar looks at the wizard, he says, maybe slightly less attractive if we're trying not to draw attention.
Oh, I can handle that.
And he blushes having to call Kira attractive.
Okay.
We're
So-
talking about Sir Kira?
Yeah. Well, you said she looks like Kate Beckinsdale. It's like,
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
We need
you're supposed to be
more-
in a disguise, not a gorgeous woman walks through the.
So
We need to go. It needs to be more colory made that no one
Yeah,
notices, right?
girl. Yeah.
you have to be someone who'd be for having a reason. Well, I mean, Scullery Maid has a reason to go into the keep as well too. Dorek gestures at Jawar, and what do you turn into? What's the disguise he puts on you?
Maybe like some sort of simple looking merchant,
Okay.
like a, but like one that would be like a bread seller or a,
Sure.
or maybe a materials, like someone who would sell cloth.
Okay. So yeah, you just look like a merchant
Yeah.
too. And as a, where's my, what do you call it, dock workers? So let's remember the Cloven Bay dock workers. Whew. That'd be similar to the sort of earthy, working class kind of. There's not a working class, I suppose, in this period, but that type of attire. And also,
Yeah.
you look like a Jemeri man as opposed to a Yakin. Again, there are
Nice.
other Yakin individuals living in Cloven Bay, but it's not like a majority race here, so or ethnicity, I should say. Then Dorek says, now it's just a matter of waiting. And Captain Lazar then turns to the rest of the guys and says, then, pretenders, shall we go? So they're going to leave with you, and I guess they're taking Patches with them as well, which is fantastic. Remember how much John hated riding horses?
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So then, with them departing, you guys will have about an hour or so to kill. Is there anything you wish to do in that period?
Well, eat our breakfast that we wanted.
Yep.
I think, since we don't have to eat a quick breakfast on the road, I'll just take it on the table.
Okay. Then, after that hour passes, you're free to chat with Dorek, or if you like, or Dorek can go and busy himself in other things.
I think Jawar is asking questions about the road and the journey we're about to make.
So yeah, Dorek explains that though it's been some time since he last made the journey, the first bit of the road is not terribly taxing. Certainly not for one of your vigor. If you are a member of I'm not mistaken, you are a member of the Changramai.
That's correct.
The foothills are pleasant. It is it can be taxing in the winters, but at this time of year, it will be a vigorous trip. The first half of the journey is through the foothills, and then once you get up into the old home, the going is more challenging, but quite beautiful. You've never seen Myrna Doom, have you?
No, I have not.
I think Sir Kira's deliberately chewing slow, eating, taking her time, and letting Dorek do all the talking because she's trying to still figure out what's going on. And
Sure. The first time I saw Myrna Doom was before Sir Kira's father became the master of it. Was young then. It's an elven ruin, built by the Lawari, back in the time, at some point in the Second Age, when such things were being built. And they placed it atop cliffs looming over Liriwis. such that when you approach, you can see the spire of Myrna Doom reflected in it when the light is right. It's almost like gazing across a mirror at a spire shrouded in the peaks of the old home. It is quite unlike any other place I have seen, and it is only thanks to Sir Kiera's father's actions grown only more impressive over time. It's
Sounds
been
like a
too
majestic
long,
place.
Sir Kiera, since I've been. I really should visit, find the occasion to visit your father again.
You should. You would like that.
I think.
Perhaps you have some additional reading material you could drop off as well.
If only I had time for reading. Things have been so busy here of late. So many coming and going. But if you are done, ma'am, we should make our way to the Duke. There are others I would have you not encounter. So, you guys leave, and what Doric says is, like, so long as you stay within eye contact within him, he can maintain his enchantments. So, okay. He leaves and just sort of expects that you will follow behind him.
Yeah.
Sir Kiera, do you have any ranks in stock or hide?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you do, yeah.
Yep.
Are you wearing your armor or not? It'll be concealed by the enchantment.
Then yes, she'll be wearing her armor.
Okay, so that means you got a 25 to this. So, tell me about how you guys are planning on sort of keeping yourself inconspicuous as you approach the Duke's Keep.
Well, I liked Jawar's idea about, being a merchant or someone that has business going to the palace. So maybe we're, Sir Kira's not a slouch. She can carry like a bundle of clothes or a stack of textiles or something like that, and Jawar can be the merchant, and she can carry the stuff, and we can go up maybe through a side entrance or something like that. That's not... Okay. Merchants wouldn't be taking the main hall.
So I'll just make us a little bigger here. So this is the idea of what the keep looks like.
Although she's thinking, like, Jawar, if only you'd have been a baker, we could have had some, like, cinnamon rolls or something on the way.
Jawar is quite gifted in cookery.
So I guess we wouldn't really be skulking. We would just be,
walking normal.
Yeah, taking the normal path, essentially.
Inconspicuous, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So she'll walk slightly behind you this time. You'll have to deal with that.
Okay. It is an odd feeling of having someone, or at least an unfamiliar one for you, Jawar, with someone kind of stalking behind you.
Once you notice that Jawar is constantly turning back to check that you're still there.
She'll mention that you gotta stop turning around. You're not supposed to care if I'm there.
So as you're making your way through making your way from the obelisk, of course the obelisk is kind of on the edge of town. You make your way through town, past the harbor, and then to the far side of town. I think that as you're making your way around too, you can hear in sort of the market square that you pass through, alms for the poor, from Pig Stink. And then you make your way to the far side and up towards the keep. You pass many people kind of coming and going as you're making your way up. It's still early enough in the morning that there's not like the regular procession of petitioners have not made their way up towards the keep. And as you're brought into, you find Doric quickly sort of brings you guys over to a kind of a side, not a side entrance, but once you're inside the keep, to a side room to bring you so you will have a private audience with the Duke. This is Sir Kira. You know that normally he meets you in public, but the Duke has a bit of a soft spot for you. So he is he's happy to meet you there. So Doric leaves you, and then as soon as he leaves, the illusions vanish, and you find yourselves in your normal forms. And Jawar, you once again have seen now Sir Kira wearing her full panoply of armor, and you saw her fight last night, and it was, I mean, quite impressive. She's a very, very capable warrior. You know how dangerous that monk of Yarth was, or the Yarthsworn was. Seeing her wearing her armor, she wears it as well and as comfortably as the eldest and the most grand knight that you've ever met. She certainly is a warrior born. Mm-hmm. While you're waiting, do you guys discuss anything, or do you just wait to see when the Duke arrives?
I think that Jawar will tap her armor on her side, right where the shuriken hit her, and he'll say, "I don't think that Yarth would have been able to hurt you last night had you been wearing this." And then he taps on the armor right where it would have been protecting her side.
She laughs. She's like, "Have you ever tried to sleep in?" She taps it again. "In this?"
So what you're tapping as well too, there is one of Sir Kiera's magical items is a black alloy breastplate that was a gift from Duke Renovar.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's a really impressive. She also has a. What do you think that you got a helm of missile protection, which reduces missile criticals by 10. What do you think that looks like?
So what is our heritage is
Talathi.
But what kind of a race of people would that relate to?
So if you're coming from anyone who is in the successor kingdoms of Ulashak, anything that has like a sea drake kind of association or any kind of nautical association would definitely fit. And the Duchy of Cloven Bay is a nautical. They're seafaring people. You're dealing with Sirkakar warriors coming from the northern parts of the Bay of Ulor. Dangerous creatures that live below the surface of the water, sea devils, crawls, sea crawls, diary pirates. So
I'm wondering if the helm has kind of like a middle fin that's not like really high or pronounced or anything, not like a shark fin, but just like a ridge on it that kind of looks like the ridge on maybe some fish. Sure. And then it's got like little fish scales along the side to accentuate the nautical place that we're from.
Love it. And so she's got that to her side as well. It's only about maybe 20 minutes that pass before the door opens again to this sort of, and it's not a study, this is an actual audience chamber. This would be somewhere where you would normally want to meet with a more intimate group of maybe 5 to 10 people. But you are graced with the singular, quicker than Lord Carmen, you're graced with door opens, and I guess from here too you can see there's big stained glass windows that look out over the over Cloven Bay itself, the actual bay. So it's a really quite a vantage that you've got over the tumultuous post-storm Bay of Ulor. Dark gray skies out to the west.
While we were waiting, I think Sir Kier would ask Jawar, "Do you ride? We're on a ship, but how are you on the back of an animal?"
Let me check. Not great.
So better than Ordak. Maybe not as well as me. Okay.
If you have any ranks in it, which you do, if you got a stat or if you got a bonus in any of your skills listed there, you guys have ranks in it. That means you're able to ride a horse.
Right, I get that. I'm just saying, like, of all my skills, every single one, it's my lowest ranked skill.
And you know, let's quickly talk about that again too. So, now that we've gone through at least one full combat, the way mounted combat works is it takes 100% action to control an animal in combat. But then you subtract your score in ride from that. That tells you how much of a percentage it takes you to control the mounted combat.
Right. So it would take me 75% of my action to control a horse during combat.
Yeah.
So I have a ride skill of 60.
Yes.
Right.
And unfortunately, Patches is gone, but Patches also has a plus 20 because it's such a good horse.
Right.
So meaning you would still have enough left to do an attack.
Yep.
Right.
And you could move with the horse's rate of speed. A horse, I believe, has 120 rate.
Right. So you could move 10% and still attack.
Yep.
Whereas I couldn't even attack on a horse.
But if we were charging through somebody and trying to escape, I could give them a swing, and you could follow me through, and we could go.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about you falling off the horse if someone swings at you.
To ride in a horse then would be a moving maneuver check, and depending on how fast you want the horse to go. Just like a moving maneuver when you're running or whatnot, same thing, just it's on a horseback, it would be a ride check.
Okay.
So how does exhaustion work in this game?
Exhaustion is not something we're really going to worry about until, you're pushing the limits of it, until it really just becomes something we need to pay attention to.
Because, I mean, like, Jawar's movement is 80.
Yep.
And jogging, which is like the lowest increase above walking, I'm 1.5. So I actually move 120, which is a horse's rate at a jog.
Yeah, so let me go. Actually, like, exhaustion is worth just.
I don't want to. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
don't
so
want
something
to
we're gonna track all
overplay
the
it. But I
time.
mean, it might be something that Jawar is used to running beside.
Yeah, so here's how you can judge it, guys. You have each person has a base number of exhaustion points equal to your Constitution stat. So whatever your Constitution stat is, the temporary stat, that's how many exhaustion points you have. Each round that you move, you exert a number of exhaustion points determined by your pace. So, let's see here. Where's your pace table? Here we go. So, if you're walking, it's 1 exhaustion point for every 30 rounds. And I think there are 10 rounds per minute. Let me make sure I got that right.
So I do like that idea, though, Jawar. If you feel more comfortable jogging beside, and that would allow you to use your skills and abilities, and still not, if you're not going to get exhausted from it.
10 seconds per round, so six rounds per minute. So basically, that's every 5 minutes. It takes you 1 to walk. You said how much? You said jogging?
Yeah, what's jogging?
Jogging is one exhaustion every 6 rounds. So that's every minute.
Okay.
So you can jog for 90 minutes before you have to take a break.
Right. You can jog You can jog for an hour and a half and then take a break. And then they recover at what rate, roughly?
Exhaustion is recovered.
Like, I'm just wondering if, like, for every 2 hours, I can essentially...
and then here's the thing, too. It's actually modified. Your exhaustion rate is modified by what you're moving through as well, too. So rough terrain, like the foothills, would be 2 times. And then mountainous terrain, like the second half of the journey, is 3 times.
Oh, okay. So it would be only 30 minutes of jogging.
Yeah. Through the mountains. But, I mean, that would apply to everybody as well, too. And then recovering, restored at 1 per round rested.
Oh, I see. So you have to rest the same amount of time as you move.
And then there's some magic, like I think rangers have an ability to restore exhaustion faster. But then you also, if you are tanked out, that's when it would matter. Like you lose 1 exhaustion point for every 2 rounds you fight in melee, and then 1 for every 6 rounds you fight in missile or using magic. that normally won't matter. You guys will normally have way more, like more than enough. But if you happen to be caught at the end of a really exhausting kind of thing, that may be a factor in some fights where you're pushing up against the exhaustion rates.
Right. Normal gameplay, it won't really affect.
Exactly.
I just wanted to see what the rules were to see if we could do the math a little bit and see like what it would mean if I wasn't on a horse.
Absolutely. And so does that help you make your decision as to whether you actually need a horse then? I can tell you what the horse... Let me get my... Where's my...
Well, it was just under a day's journey by horse.
That's right, yeah. Less than that. It's under a day's journey on foot.
It was 5 hours.
Yeah, it's faster on a horse.
Oh, well then I could do it. Like if we're leaving just after, we're meeting the Duke and then leaving a little behind our friend, it might actually be best that we don't catch up to them. So maybe we do want to take the journey a little slower than the elves to keep some distance between them and us if they're the...
You're also hoping to travel incognito too, right?
Right.
So,
not many merchants, and they're like, if I'm gonna be incognito, I probably won't be able to.
No, we won't have these disguises anymore. These just got us to the keep.
Right. And that's why she was asking for something to cover her shield. So like she needs some like a piece of canvas or something like that and rope so she can cover
a big cloak to drape over her armor.
And something to cover the heraldic design on her shield so that she's not recognized.
I think that Dorek will bring that in with him, and then he is followed by Duke Renovar. And he comes in, and the look on his face is quite pleased to see you. There is my favorite knight.
She bows instead of curtsying.
Sir Kira, please. Up. Dorek, you may leave us. Oh, actually, no, he would keep him there. It says, in this, I understand from my wizard, I have you to thank for assisting Sir Kiera in defending her life from an attacker.
And driving off said attacker, Your Grace. No, I guess it would be your
My lord.
Your
You can call him my lord.
My lord?
Yeah.
It's my duty.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember. To be honest, it's a fantasy world. Who gives a shit? You can call him my lord or whatever you want.
Your Excellency?
Sure. I think there is an actual title, for English traditions at least, there is a specific way of addressing a duke. I don't remember if it's my lord. But it doesn't really matter. So he says then, I understand your name. You are a member of the Changra Mai. Yes?
That is correct, Lord.
I've only met 2 of your order before. Very capable warriors. He kind of holds up his fists. You can see his fists, they're old, strong, and calloused. Definitely, this guy has seen... Oh, there you go. Definitely has seen warrior. You can see he still is wearing the like chainmail underneath his robes as well, too. This is a dude who... He has had time on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. For sure. He's got some scars, too, so... Yeah,
oh, definitely.
I can see that you have lived a life of that as well, Your Grace.
In this part, tell me, have you been to our region of the world before?
This is my first time here. Beautiful, beautiful place.
It's kind to say. These lands, at one time, when we were at Larian, when we were with the Shak, truly magnificent. Something to rival the kingdoms of the south, I would think. And perhaps, he looks over at Dorek, again will be the kind of you to say. We take pride. Cloven Bay is... We're not as old as Sel Kai or the Flying City, but the people here and the blood runs deep and as old as those cities. Just, it runs a little rougher here, you see. Hey, Kira? Did you show that attacker what you showed those Sirkakar?
Indeed. And good old, whoever that knight is from Oak Place where we...
Oakford.
Oakford, he was in the tavern last night.
Yep.
She'll mention his name too, and then mention that he was in the tavern last night.
His face gets a little serious, and he says, There was no trouble with Oakford last night, was there?
No, we made our way to our rooms without any sort of challenge.
Good. Good. The peace with Oakford was purchased with much blood and unnecessary strife. And he looks over at Dorek as if he's knows to mind his tongue, or has been chastised in private for it. He says, Olden Trove and his brood are fools. But we have much to build upon that peace, and much to gain for all. The Troves are fools enough to cut their own feet off to spite us. And I would see them not fall victim to their own folly. Your judgment is wise, Sir Kira, and I appreciate your restraint.
I cannot take all the credit, Your Grace. Was it priest of the Sea Drake had said a few things and got me a little rankled. It was my friends and Jawar who urged me to seek out my chambers. And
he looked over at Dorak and says, "They've arrived then." And Dorak nods. Damned. What did they say to you?
I'm trying to remember now. I think she'll just recount, the conversation and then the strange claim or naming statement that the Sea Drake priest had made about Sir Kira's name. And
business is of theirs who names their children. Would that I had thought of it, I would have named one of mine after the lost prince as well. And what business is it of him what your father did before he came? Elisa lays claim to anything they draw their eyes on, and it seems we are a bright enough jewel now to draw their attention and their eye. Well, they'll find that the Duchy of Cloven Bay will not be so easily claimed by those pretenders. The throne sits empty, and we will not bow to an empty throne. Hey?
Nay.
But you say, what did he mean that he would see your father? What business do they have at Myrna Doom? The presumption. I've not given them leave to travel in my lands.
We assumed you had, Your Grace.
No, they presume much, and we will see.
There was a priest and 5 of his companions.
Guards.
What would you say, Jawar? Warriors of a sort?
They were all trained warriors by my eye.
Capable
men.
As they'd find those robes stained with blood from daggers in their backs. Priests.
you wish to see us, my lord?
I'm
We
sorry,
would
sir.
we-
Kira, I will not. News has reached me that your brother has not returned. I wish not to dwell on that. I'm sure the wound is fresh with you, and no doubt soon to be fresher with your father. Please, when he is ready to hear it, offer him my condolences.
Condolences.
I know he had plans for your brother.
She kind of like her face probably turns. I don't want to say sour, but back to the thoughts of I'm going to have to step up and do what my brother was supposed to do, and this is not part of the plan. So yeah, maybe her face does turn a little sour.
Okay. I know, Sir Kira. Your father must... This will be a burden for him. I need you to assist him. Make this bearable by him. There is much moving in the world now, and much that still needs attention. Your brother may see fit for him to abandon his responsibility and his duty. I know your father too well, as I know you, to shirk your own. The reason I called upon you was because I thought, with Halen returned, with his son returned, he would not mind if his lord borrowed his daughter, and the other returned his collection. We've had trouble, you see. The communities around Tower Cove, and I'll just quickly bring you over to the map here so you know where this is. Tower Cove is the one kind of island, or based on the island off the coast. It's about 20 miles off the coast. Yeah, about 20 miles as the crow flies. There are communities around Tower Cove that are being preyed on. We first thought Sirkakar coming down. It's that time of year when they go a Viking. But word comes from the Lord of Tower Cove. He believes the Sea Devils have returned. And you would know this well enough, Sir Kira. They are these aquatic humanoids that have basically like a slightly over they are much closer to packs of beasts that hunt than they are creatures. They haven't passed beyond, or they advanced beyond a hunter-gatherer kind of stage. And they rove. Those packs rove until either the food runs out or until they're driven off. And I'm not sure that in your lifetime you've seen it, but you've heard, like, the old mariners talk about these things. They'll attack in the middle of the night, they'll crawl aboard a ship, they'll drag what flesh they can off, and drown sailors. But as they're drowning them, they'll begin the eating, because they like their meat fresh. And they're not restricted to living only in water. Seaside communities live in fear that in the night the sea devils will come and prey on them.
Your Grace, I will assemble a force and we can certainly help with this.
I will trust that you will bring the need to your father, and I will trust my friend to know when he is able to send the help we need. He turns to Jawar. These are rough lands, Jawar. And we all must do for ourselves. And when we cannot, we help. When we can, we help our neighbors. And I would see the people of the duchy safe, but these are wild lands. And Dorek has advised me of your charade, your plan for returning to Myrna Doom. He has brought, and he gestures, and there's some servants who seem to have been waiting in the hall, brought in some things to leave for you. These, well, I believe, assist you in your subterfuge.
Thank you,
Sir Kira, is there anything that I can do to assist your father through this?
These are dark times, Your Grace. I cannot think of anything you can do to assist at this time other than to keep you and yours safe from the new threats that have arrived.
We would always welcome your sword, Sir Kiara. And you would be my first choice to see this. He looks at you, Jawar. The only thing she masters better than a sword is perhaps a sail.
I've seen it brandished. Much skill.
Indeed. But see to your father first. Your duty to the duchy, I give you leave to see to your family first.
Thank you, Your Grace. We will prepare and be off right away.
Indeed. And as he's turning to leave, he stops and says, and did I tell you Dumas will be returning?
I think she's gonna like blush a little bit and just nod and smile.
And just safe journey. And he looks at you, Jawar, and keep her safe. He says it in a way that you know he expects you can do that.
I give him a bow.
And Dorek, and he leaves. So, what do you think you guys are going to disguise yourself like? What's the plan here for getting yourself out of Cloven Bay and on the way to Myrna Doom?
Well, I think we basically need to cover our outer clothing. I mean, as long as we don't, probably from any distance, you know, we're identified by our clothing more than our faces.
Absolutely. So. Well, the white robes of the Trangermeyer are kind of always recognizable. But if you put your hood off and then just put something on top of that, it probably.
Yeah. And I mean, Sir Kira, like her armor and her helmet are obviously very recognizable. But if she's got some kind of a large cloak or something over them, then she's not super large, is she, Dave?
No.
Okay, so I'm sure they have a cloak that would sort of fit right over all your armor.
Yeah, I think, and she'll just cover her heraldic device on her shield with some canvas and rope or whatever, and.
Right, like make it look like an old.
You can even stuff, because we said you had a tabard on as well too, with the sigil or the crest of what do you call it, of House Ventier. You could just take that off and have it stuffed in your traveling satchel or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we're making our disguises, I'm going to say to Sir Kira, I don't mean to presume, and I definitely do not know the customs of your people, but with your brother not returning, does his responsibilities and your father's plans just not naturally fall to you? I'm confused why this would not be the case.
They would, and that's in part what bothers me. And so the Duke's already gone, right?
Duke's gone.
That's why,
just you guys
I would
talking.
not have talked about this in front of the Duke. That's why I waited.
She's like, yeah, that is exactly what I've been struggling with since you have returned without him, is that my plan was not ever to lead. That was all going to fall on my brother, so I never had to worry about, the pressures of leading my people in the absence of my father. But father's not as young as he once was, and his succession plan was going to fall to my brother.
I feel you need not worry about being a leader. It comes naturally to you. In this short time I've been here, I can see all who are close to you and how they care for you.
Thank you, Tuar, but I was hoping to do as the Duke has asked. Things like driving back the circuit car raiders and, saving...
Why can you not lead both as by word and by deed? The Duke himself, did you not see you must know tales of his younger life.
Yes, but I believe that his adventures, his exploits likely all happened prior to... it's possible that some of that happened while he was Duke, but it would take probably a full-scale war for the leader to, be out in the field. And then there's all the other hassles that I just don't want to have to deal with. It's not my...
Is that not what advisors and servants are for?
Perhaps that delegating some of those tasks away and... Yeah. Damn it, Halen. He always said that home was a backwater home for bastards. I wonder if I would have...
He must be talking about the Oakfords people.
I wish, but all of my foster brothers, I believe he was referring to father's collection of what Halen would have referred to as misfits. He never... I don't know. Maybe if I would have told father about his views... I don't know.
Your brother is his own man. He does not see himself in the mold that your father wishes for him. And obviously neither did you.
Well, whether I view that or not, that falls on me now.
And if you were to also not take up the role at Myrna Doom, what would happen?
I don't know. Without my father and without one of our line to rule, I don't know if the Duke would pass Myrna Doom on to someone else.
Well, at the very least, would you not need to start a family of your own to continue the succession? If you do take up the role?
I think that's why the Duke was mentioning his son Dumas, but we'll leave that for another day.
And this Dumas, you have feelings?
I don't know.
I don't think she'd never even met him.
Oh, you never even... Yeah, I don't know this.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jawara has no idea.
He's older. He's like 9 years older than me.
And that's like an old man to you?
Well, I think she's only, what, like...
She's 18.
18? Yeah. So it's a significant difference. I suppose the difference is not as much now as it was when I was a child.
You
Of
did
course.
hear rumors about him from Pigstink too.
Oh yeah, what did Pigstink say?
Pigstink had, 'cause remember he was squired to a lord in Elisa.
Yeah.
What Pigstink had suggested, or had heard at least, whether true or not, is that he had taken up the local faith. That he was a member of the cult of the Sea Drake.
Can't do it. Can't do it with these Sea Drakians. It's a hard stop right there. Might as well have cats.
If the Duke wishes it, are you forced into marriage with his son?
Not if I'm off in battle all the time.
Are you free to make your own choices in life?
Some choices are taken away from me, but we shall cross that bridge. Hopefully we don't have to cross that bridge.
Well,
Let's
let
go.
us start our journey.
Let's get ourselves to Myrna Doom and see my father.
Okay. So then, let me see. Do either you guys have? Neither of you has disguise.
I don't think I'm going to go on horseback because I think that's...
Be too obvious.
Yep.
Okay.
And I mean, from what we read, it seems like we could do it in a day. So there's no real
Easy.
reason to ride.
Yep, it's a beautiful time of year. It's a vigorous hike. Both of you are certainly more than fit enough to do this without it really being taxing on you. So, because I think the respective, you got a
But
91.
neither of us are. Oh, I have basic trickery. I do not have costume making or
Disguise it would be.
disguise.
Yeah.
I have rope mastery.
Honestly,
so, I mean,
once you get out of, so let's take a look once again at the sort of what you're traveling through. So this is give you a sense of what the trip is like. Oh, what am I doing here?
Kev, where did you say you got the activity percentage table? That was from a different version?
This is from Rolemaster Classic.
Rolemaster Classic? Because somebody had asked about 3 rounds to cast a spell, and neither Jeff or I cast spells. So we don't really
Oh
know.
yeah, we are. So the question. Oh, sorry, Samuel. So yeah, the even in this edition in Classic, it carries over the second edition rules for how long you cast. If you, what it is your level and then your level and 2 more down takes 3 rounds to cast. The next 3 levels down from that take 2 rounds to cast, and then the next ones down all take 1 round to cast. And it's 2 rounds of concentration, which is 90% concentrating, 10% to do whatever you like. 2 rounds of that, then 1 round of casting, which is 75% with 25% free, and then same thing. It's only 1 round of concentration, 1 round of casting for that second band, and 1 round of casting, 75% casting, 25% to do whatever you like for anything lower than that.
right, and that's the only spells that we saw Sean use when we were fooling around, was like a quick spell or whatever. Like so that means it's low level, right?
Yeah, there's also things that are instant spells, and instant spells in this, the rules we're using for it are for them to be 50% action. It takes place in the 10%, so it's a swift action. It only takes 10%, but then the rest of the 40% is for you recovering. So you can do it. Then that's why like that thing was able to leap over you, but had to sort of wait until it could make the first attack on Sarkira.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, you guys are setting out. So you're probably 2-3 hours into the journey before you're getting close to the. Yeah, you're gonna be coming up on that bridge for Sarkira. And
I was gonna add one thing.
Of course.
During the travels of that time, as I stated, Jawar is normally very quiet, but he's been asking Sarkira lots of questions about Myrna Dune, under the sort of guise of he's trying to learn about the layout, the defending, protection, all that stuff. But he's also like gaining information about her life.
Yeah. So what do you think? What types of things would you be asking about?
Well, like I said, like the actual building, like the buildings, and how many entrances are there, and blah blah blah, like just like all kinds of questions about the path leading in, the road, the protection, guards,
watchtower.
Yeah, like all the strategic stuff. Like I said, like it would be a 2-hour conversation. Like he's being chatty, whereas he's normally not.
Well, and during your breaks, I mean, Sir Kira could take her dagger out and kind of draw on the ground. It's probably, I mean, with the rain that came in last night, it's probably quite a little messy to make the trip here. So there's going to be plenty of opportunity to sort of to easily draw lasting things in the ground, so you'll have a good sense of the layout. The real, the really most important bits that you need to see are the what do you call it? There's the Tower of Myrna Doom and the keep that's kind of around it as well, and then there's a separate kind of watchtower. There is a waterfall that sort of cascades down into Leary Weiss, into the lake that's just to the west of what do you call it? Of Myrna Doom. The little creek that leads up to those waterfalls leading down, there's a bridge that goes across it. On the far side of the bridge, there is the watchtower that is now occupied as a covenant for the Sisters of Aisa, the ones who follow the Keeper of Souls. That's usually where the watch point is.
And I think so. Kara will be, giving the specifics, but there'll also be some like, oh yeah, and then there's this time, where Ordak or Nightwolf and White Wolf were goofing around in the lake, and Woodwolf was making fun of them, and she'll some anecdotal stories. And
it's Leary Weiss is it's called Cold Lake because it's very deep, but it also means for diving off the cliffs is a very fun activity for when you're a kid.
Yeah.
The summers aren't long up in the Old Home Mountains, but it's certainly beautiful.
Until you're you get a cramp and your little brother has to save you, and you get ridiculed for being a night wolf that can't swim.
Yeah. Oh, and then anything?
I don't know if Ordak can't swim. I'm just making shit up.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
yeah.
I think one of the things that all of you, anyone who grew up around, you'll notice that on the character sheets, at least on the stats portion of the character sheets, every single one of the characters has some points in swimming and some points in riding. It's because you kind of have to know those things to be here. Swimming in particular. Anyone who grew up here, you did spend lots of your time in Myrna Doom, but you also spent time down in Cloven Bay. It's part of the reason you have such a strong relationship with Vortalon, and also because it's something that you need to know to defend yourself, to be trading and whatnot. You need to know how to work a boat at the very least, to some degree. And if you fall off, you need to be able to not die. So even though Myrna Doom itself is located quite far inland, it's something that it's still something that you guys would all master. Okay, now hold on here, guys. Where is that thing? Okay, so it is about 2 hours into your journey. You guys have taken, you're finishing your second break. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up in that first hour or so of travel?
No, not me.
Well, I think once Jawar's done asking all his questions, Jawar, do you think it takes the whole first 2 hours?
I mean, not if you start changing. I mean, if you're directing the conversation, he's not dominating it. He's just
I think I think Sir Kira is also curious about Jawar, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She'll start asking questions like, so how did you come into the employ of the captain, and tell me about your exploits with him, and that could be maybe part of the journey as well.
Yeah, of course. And he would tell her, he was raised by the monks, and one of the roles that we fill as we come of age is we are hired out as mercenaries so my contract, the captain pays a contract to the monastery in my name, and that is a contribution that I make to the monastery to pay them back for the time that and resources they spent raising me.
That's interesting. She's trying to think of how that would be similar to some, like if you're a knight and you receive training from the Lord, you're also expected at times when the Lord calls to do your duty to help the Lord and whatever. So in the same way that the Duke has asked her for help, her father could ask his knights to aid in the defense of Myrna or something like that. Because of the training and food and shelter that he's provided, they owe him some kind of fealty, some kind of payback in some way that he can call upon. Although it's not contractual in maybe the same terms that yours is with the captain, their system works fairly similarly.
Yes, and I have been lucky. My role as protector of the captain and now protector of you has been easy, as it's an honorable role, and I am happy to do it.
Last night was easy?
Last night was fun, ma'am.
That's awesome.
I expect there'll be more. At least if what you said, what the creature said was correct.
I look forward to the opportunity at a rematch.
Yes, myself as well.
This time we will both be prepared.
Indeed.
So you are still probably at this pace another 2 hours or so off from that bridge for where you and not far from the midway point where that cabin is, and where those bodies were that you found from before. And I guess with all the excitement and whatnot in Cloven Bay, you haven't even given any thought to transporting those bodies or recovering those bodies, right?
Oh no. We'll have to send word. No, because we talked about it in the first session, at the end of the session with Bartolon. I don't know if that...
Oh, of sending word to the Duke that those bodies were up there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then then you know what? They likely would have sent someone up to recover them.
But that's also because I didn't think we were going to have time to see the Duke, so maybe that's...
Yeah. Well, it's been, as you said, it's been a very unusual day for Sir Kira. So it's about, at this point, you guys have been traveling together for a little more than 2 hours as you are, getting to know each other and getting to know sort of what you're getting yourself in for, Jawar. What do you make of all the surroundings, too? These big, tall pine forests. Have you been so far away from civilization with Captain Zedek?
Probably not often, and I'm used to flying over these forests, not walking down in them. So it's probably been a long time since I've been down. Probably since training with the monks. I'm sure we're out in the woods all the time, but not in the last 5 years, kind of thing, right? So it's probably very grounding and nice to be amongst the trees. I might even comment on that at some point. You certainly don't enjoy the beautiful smells of the forest when you're buzzing over them.
Well, and the lack of smell from the cities. obviously have a smell to them themselves, and then even life on the deck of an airship would be fine, but within the hold, not a great smell.
Yeah. No.
So the stillness out here and the smell, it's got to be something that just is a different experience for you. And that's maybe when you... Well, I wanted to do this. Let's have Jawar and Sir Kira each give us a perception check, please. Okay. So, Sir Kira, you're the one who, as you're making your way, you guys are walking along, and you picture you're making your way along one of these fairly flat parts of the path, leading up to a bit of an more open area. And Sir Kira, you realize you can hear the sound of, maybe it's just it's a movement, not so much a sound. Something's moving about maybe 25 or 30 feet ahead on the left side. In the bushes, or in the other bushes, in the overgrowth.
Okay. Jawar, left side, and she just kind of describes where it is without actually motioning or pointing to it.
Sure. And then you can hear there are the sound of their footsteps behind you. And so, Kira, you can turn around and see this. There are 4 men who run out onto the path behind you. And you can tell from the sorry state of their equipment and their armor and the ruddy complexions, they are Saralan mercenaries. The hell are they doing in this? And then you see
behind us
2 figures walk out from the bushes ahead of you. A man
fuck
and a woman. And the man says, "All right, fair travelers, that's far enough. Far enough indeed. We won't be very long with you." And then you can see there are 2 other figures that join them. Sir Kira, are you wearing your helmet right now, or are you sort of wearing a hood? What do you think you're dressed as? Are you I guess what I'm asking is, are you concealing your identity still, or do you think you've given up?
Yeah, she's still concealing her identity. The shield's covered, her tabard's off, and she's wearing a cloak over top of her helmet and armor.
Okay. Then you can see the sneer on Lady Eustace's face. She has the perpetual sneer of one that seems displeased with life. And then behind there walks out a young looking Jaiman man with a flourish around him that tells you he is a mage. But he has the untidy clothing that speaks of a mercenary lifestyle. This is not someone who's in service to any one thing. And lumbering out behind them is something that comes from legend. And its name, or at least its nickname, comes from your lips, Sir Kira. The Oakford Giant. This is a towering man in service to House Trove, King Oakford, and stands beside them. This is a terror of the local tourney circuit and a vicious and unnecessary murderer at same. He is a hireling to House Trove and takes position behind Sir Eldon. Once everyone is sort of... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say, silver is a really expensive coin, right?
It is, yep. Like 6 silver gets you a sword, I think.
Right.
And it would be each silver coin is about, let's see, it goes silver, then copper, then bronze, then tin. So, you know, that's what, like 1,000 tin per silver, and a beer is like 4 tin.
I think before Sir Kira can say anything, though, Jawar will look at her and he'll whisper, "Don't speak. I'll handle this."
That's what I was thinking.
So
Yell out 50 silvers, and if they ask, is that how much we're going to pay them? Say no, that's how much they can pay us for safe passage. And then she winks, like she really doesn't want him to say that.
So Sir Eldon says, "Forgive us, travelers. We don't want no trouble here. We just want to make sure that people what are traveling this route are the right sorts to be traveling. And we got a word with one traveler on this road." And the timing sort of runs through your mind, Sir Kira. There's from what what Jawar told you, like, there's no way that they knew that you were leaving early. So if these folks knew that you were here and decided to set an ambush, the folks traveling earlier this morning probably got out here past them before these idiots got out here.
Yep.
Now, why don't you, Sir Eldon then says, why don't you reveal your faces? We want no coin, we want no trouble. We just want to see them faces.
They're gonna know who I am.
I'll reveal my face to them and step forward.
Okay. Lady Eustace just spits. What's this?
I've traveled far. I bring my wares. What do you need my face for?
She looks up and down. She says, I don't see. He doesn't look like a scholar to me.
I'm not selling books, ma'am. I'm selling knowledge.
She looks over. What? She looks back and forth, like kind of almost like a caged animal, like waiting to be let loose.
Yeah.
The Eldon says, and you? I see you got armor under there. Who's that under there? Just show us your face.
That's my bodyguard. He's mute.
I didn't ask him to talk, did I? I just see his face. And what you got to travel with the bodyguard for?
I told you. I sell knowledge.
Lady Eustace says, how can you afford it? She looks up and down and, again, has a look at it like she's bit into something distasteful.
My knowledge is very valuable.
Really? Well, be ashamed to see you lost on the road, then. Show us your face, bodyguard.
Ah, shit. Do we charge backwards? I say we go backwards. It's the mage and the giant behind us?
The mage, the giant, and them are all up front. The Sorrellan mercenaries are all behind you.
Okay.
And with Sir Kira looking back and forth and still whispering to Jawar, and the brood of Oakford very swiftly losing their temper, we'll bring our session to a close. And we'll see what happens on Wednesday, which is the last session before my vacation. So, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for Chapter 3 of the Heirs of Sea and Sorrow. As is always the case, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the game we're playing, or the campaign, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section of this video, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. I'll bring us all back over to that lovely view of Myrna Doom. Boy, I really hope you make it all the way back there, guys. In addition, If you can also find all of us on the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and you can find a link down to that down below in the description of this video. You can also find a link down there to my Twitter or my other socials and whatnot, so you can find, and you can also find me by email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. In addition, there is a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages, but unfortunately, that's the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel, but unfortunately, at the time of recording, the link is broken. I have not figured out how to. They've changed service providers for their donations, so I need to fix that before you can make donations. But once that is fixed, I would welcome you to make any donation you would like to the Heroes Save Villages campaign, which benefits the SOS Children's Villages International charity, a really terrific organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children from around the world. All donations that go through that link, once it's fixed, will go directly to SOS Children's Villages International, and for every $25 Canadian that's donated, you get one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. Next charity raffle will be on December 1st, 2021, and in addition to that, you'll also have a chance to vote on the Tournament of Champions session or voting we'll have for our final charity session of the year. In addition, be sure to check in the second to last week, the penultimate week of October, when you will be able to donate or spend the money that you've donated thus far to help outfit our heroes for our next charity session, which will be playing Werewolf the Apocalypse in a unusual session featuring kids at a sleepaway camp in the 1980s who find something special about themselves and the world. But anyway, for this session, I will say an enormous thank you to Jeffrey and Dave. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, guys. You guys have done an amazing job of bringing these characters to life, and I had just a shit ton of fun writing this tonight, so thank you.
Thanks, Cav. This is fun.
Awesome. And for those listening at home, thank you so much again for joining us. We'll be back again with our next session of this on a Wednesday, and then after that we'll be taking a little bit of a break as I'm on vacation, but we'll be returning to it. So we hope that we gave you a few hours to take your mind off of the troubles of our world and think about the troubles that our heroes in the Duchy of Cloven Bay and in the wider Shadow World have been discovering. And until we see you again, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.
See ya.